YouTube. We back. Can anybody hear us?
Are we back? I don't see it. We are. Okay, yeah, there we are.
We should be back.
Right now, I just hold on. Let's see, because it might be the lag.
Be green over here, so wait for people
All
to
right,
trickle
yeah,
back in.
I can see us now. Do 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 do. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Cool. All right, just gonna wait for folks to hopefully jump over here. Yeah, Mike. The whole purging thing, though. Yeah, it was just a necessary part of it. Again, these guys really educated me, and that was really what was cool about it. Like, there was nothing about it that I wasn't prepared for. And even when I freaked out at any times, like with the shamanic drumming and stuff, he always told me, like, listen for the drums. The drums will come at the right time. Different things to keep you grounded. And with the DMT, there's no grounding you. Like, the DMT experience was the few minutes that it was, but it was so profound that the second time, which was even more profound, and that even prepared me more for mushrooms. Like, so I needed to know more. And I'm not gonna, I don't want to do LSD. I maybe would do peyote and maybe some ayahuasca, things more of a natural nature, no shit made by man, nothing synthetic, anything. I'm good with all that type of stuff. I also don't really necessarily want to trip for hours yet. I'm not ready for that kind of journey, like beyond like mushrooms. But when I am, I'll make the next step. But what I've done so far has been great for me, and it's been very educational and helpful. Um, you see me 2 years later from not eating meat. That's my preference. I'm not knocking anybody who does, but it's one of the things that I learned from it, and it's the best diet I've never went on. Literally, stopping from eating meat, I've lost over 100 pounds. I weighed myself the other day. I'm 254 or something like that, which I haven't been since I was probably like 21 years old, maybe 22. I want to say. So I'm smaller than I'm as small as I was then. And again, it's the best diet I never went on. I didn't go on it to do a diet. I went on it more for just some of the things that I was showing the mushrooms, and boom, here you go. And I feel a lot better for it. So, that was just addressing the whole purging thing. Yeah, I get that. It was cool. You did DMT, see what you're going to be shown or what you need to see. With the DMT for me, I don't know. I what I was shown, I guess you're right. It's what I needed to be seen. I think it was that's why it was so much with my near death experience, which was a death experience. They can call it near death, whatever. Death is death, and coming back is one thing, but near death is just one thing. I've had near death experiences. Wasn't a near death experience, but that's why it was so similar to DMT, even more so than mushrooms, because that was, I think, with near death experiences and death experience, that people, it varies. There are a lot of similarities, but people who see Jesus, who see whatever, I think in those moments you were shown whatever you need to see, whatever needs to happen for you in that moment. I think it varies. I just don't think for everybody death, near death experience, and that stuff is the same. I think kind of how you live your life here. Maybe that's the beginning part of death stage or whatever, the waiting room type shit. Like maybe if you were a fan of Elvis or something, or your favorite comedian, whatever, maybe who's dead, George Carlin or something, gets to greet you like, hey, we thought you'd be more comfortable if George Carlin was here, to greet you. Ha ha, let me tell you a few jokes, motherfucker, before this shit gets serious or some shit. I don't know. Well, I know what happened for me, and that's what I've always said. People have asked me the answers like, so what happens when you die? I can tell you what happened for me. I don't know what happens to anybody else. I know what the experience was for Jiggy, and that's why I think the same thing with, like you said, with DMT and mushrooms and psychedelics, that you were shown what you need to be shown. You just have to be able to deal with it and let some of that ego go. It's an important part of the ego death. There's still a lot of ego up in here, trust me. And it's still important to have some ego, but it's just not ruling me like it used to. And
It's all about balance. You gotta become a Skywalker.
yes,
Yeah, y'all don't know
the
about the new
force.
messages.
Y'all the Nas mace motherfucker when
Y'all
do
didn't
did
figure
you?
out the new messages of the fucking the new Star Wars series and everything like that. It's about
Yeah.
balance. Can't kill the dark side. Can't be all light. You gotta have balance. You gotta be that gray motherfucker in the middle. You gotta be a Skywalker.
Not a gray alien, if those even exist. But not a gray alien. I'm not saying
All
be a
right,
gray
let's
alien in the middle.
start getting our next guest ready.
All right, I'm gonna try to bring our next guest in here. Come on, YouTube, just be cool. Just be cool. Much love. How you doing, Victor? Welcome. Peace and love to you. Beauty Craig. Growing up in the 60s allowed me to become enlightened back when the shift was pure. I hear you out of mind. It's weird. People say, like, if I could go to any place, any time in history, I would go to Woodstock. I know it might sound weird to people because most people is probably like, yeah, it's somewhere. But now, especially understanding psychedelics and everything, I would go to
Yo, can
Woodstock.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Can you see us?
Ah,
I don't know what's going
You
on
can
here.
see us,
That's
we
it.
can't see
Yeah, we
you.
can't see you.
Unless you don't want to be seen.
Do you not want to
no,
be
no,
seen?
no. Let me see. I don't know. Let me see. Camera setting. All right, give me one sec, guys. Okay. All right, you can see me?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's on. My camera's on.
There we go.
So,
There we go. All right, now let me get it so everybody else can see you. 1 second. Let me resize you. What's good, Willie?
Willie, I just want to
what's
say,
up,
well,
bro?
he works on getting you in, as a kind of introduce you. I was just speaking to Bond, a couple of years ago, 2017, the summer of 2017. At that point, one which I first tried DMT and then did mushrooms and stuff and have journeyed since then. But how you, the Chip Team family, and smoking, especially, was such an intricate part of me getting a better understanding and knowledge of psychedelics and how they work and what they could do for me as someone one who had had the brain trauma and injury and stuff, and all this type of stuff because we had conversations about it, but being able to bridge that gap for me and make me comfortable with it, and then on here we are a couple of years later and stuff, and just knowing what psychedelics did for me and how, I mean, you see each other, we talk and everything, you've seen me physically change, like how my body and stuff has changed, from not eating meat and different things, and how I've just taken on different things in my life, and just even how it expanded me as a paranormal investigator. But I was just shouting you out because I was saying it was just really important as someone who grew up, listening to Nancy Reagan and all these motherfuckers with saying no to drugs and watching movies where psychedelics were kind of poked fun of and made fun of and not really shown as something that is so healing, so important, what it can do in contrast to all the pharmaceuticals and stuff I had in my body. So I just want to let you know, but I was just talking about all this stuff, man, just kind of leading up to, Willie Michael joining us. First of all, thank you for joining us, Willie, man. You've been a great part of Paranormal Hood. You've done some cool investigations with us and everything. So I just want to appreciate you for your support. The Chip Team family I've met and who have been big supporters of everything we do. So shout out to the Chip Team family too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, bro.
definitely,
So
bro.
I'm getting
So I'm
some
getting
feedback. Give
some
me one sec.
feedback. Give me one sec. I'm just
Uh, let's get this up.
is it still
All right, whatever. It
all right?
don't even matter.
Whatever. It don't even we matter. Don't hear it. I don't know if anybody else
It,
hears it.
is
Everybody.
it doubling
Is
up
it
on other
doubling
people's
up on
stuff?
other people's
Somebody
stuff?
says leave the volume right there, so.
All right, cool.
All right,
So
cool.
no, anyways,
So
brother,
no,
thank you
anyways,
so
brother,
much
thank you so much
for having me
for
back
having
on the
me back
show.
on the show.
Congratulations to you guys for
Congratulations
your
to you
six
guys
years,
for your
man.
6 years, man.
You know,
You know,
only us we
only
know
us we know the
how we even
how we
became to
even
know each
became to
other,
know each
and
other, and
it was just kind
it was
of
just
meant
kind
to be.
of
You know, we
meant to be.
became good
We became
friends,
good friends,
and
and
we know each
we
other's
know each
families
other's
and
families and
everything. So,
everything.
I
So,
really
I
enjoy
really
you guys,
enjoy
and
you
the
guys, and
investigations
the
that you guys
investigations that
have
you
taken
guys
me on
have
have been a
taken
lot
me
of
on have
fun.
been a lot of fun.
It's been a learning
It's been a
experience for
learning
me. I mean,
experience
we
for
got
me. I
some
mean, we
good things
got
to look
some good
forward
things to look
to,
forward
and
to, and
yeah, man. Yeah.
yeah,
So
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
the
yeah,
whole
and the
DMT
whole
thing, man.
DMT
Like,
thing, man. Like,
was that your
was that
last
your
and
last
first
and
DMT
first
experience?
DMT experience? Well, I did it the two times. So I did it the first time. Then I did it another time right after. But I haven't done it since. But I mean, it was profound as fuck. Like this, the only way I can put it. I mean, it just really, it was the first thing, as you and I talked about, that was just like dying. It was the exact kind of the same experience. Not the exact same thing that happened during the experience, but it's the only thing I can liken to it. And it really kind of gave me a perspective on one, more of what I'm doing as a paranormal investigator, and that kind of look further, look harder, keep looking, keep going, digging deeper, keep doing the stuff that we're doing, but also just it was I was so comfortable, and I said this. This is the first time I said this at Conscious Life Expo because it was so weird for some people who know me to hear it. But when I died in an experience that I had, it was the first time that I ever kind of said to people that I didn't have a choice. Like, it wasn't like when I was there, like they were like, okay, not they, but I wasn't asked, like, do you want to stay? It was like, you're cool. Like, you're going to go back. You're fine. So when I had the DMT experience, it was very similar. Like, you're just such a cool space. And I wanted to keep going deeper, if that makes sense. Like, not like I wanted to get lost in it and just do DMT forever, but just kind of keep going further down that rabbit hole. Because the first time was the teaser, Willie. Like, whoever, like, we call them the dudes, whatever you want to call them, the others, whatever people want to call them, aliens, whatever you might want to call them, because I believe that's where you kind of see true aliens, if anything. That it was a kind of a Einstein-Rosenbridge looking thing. And they were going down that, and it was like this blue light, and it was like, yeah, pretty much if you want to know what's down here, you need to come back. So that's why I did it the second time. And when I went back, it kind of took me to another place. I don't know what happened. I don't hear myself on the mic anymore. So I don't know. Can you still hear me, Willie?
Yeah, I can still hear
you.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Sorry, he's doing something. Yeah, we're trying to fix the echo.
So
yeah, we're trying to figure out what the echo is.
The echo here.
Oh, he said, wait, they said all good. No, he said it's all good. All right. So I forgot where I was at. Oh, yes, when I did the second time, when I went down there and stuff and kind of saw where I was at and who was there, and it wasn't just anybody, it was just a whole lot of fluid but non-fluid characters, tall, big, whatever. There wasn't a shape to them, there wasn't necessarily a color, but it didn't give me any idea that they were anywhere close to here. That was the one thing that I definitely got out of that. It was like, if you want it, at some point, I don't know if it's death is how you get there, and maybe that's how you traverse those black holes or Einstein-Rosenbridges or whatever you want to call them. And maybe that's where you get to traverse that and kind of really go out and see what's out there in the galaxy. I don't know. But that's kind of what it made me feel like. Like, whatever was out there wasn't anywhere close to here. And they're not really concerned with being here.
So the way I look at it, and this is something that I've always thought about and I've always believed, but recently, through my experiences, I've pretty much concluded that this is what I think it is. So I believe that our energy, whatever it is that makes us eternal, right? Like, it's never gonna burn out. It's never gonna die. It's gonna live on forever in one shape or form. This physical body that we're in is literally just a sack of meat. It's nothing. It's just a physical body. It doesn't make us who we are. So that energy lives on, and it has lived on forever. And before, after, and until eternity, it will be around. And I believe that there's different evolutions of existence. So I believe when we have that DMT experience, it's just a different level of existence. We're able to disconnect our eternal energy from our physical body, the physical world, this physical realm, and journey on them different levels with that eternal energy. That's really what it is. And I believe things we see, like recently, one of my most recent experiences where I had a breakthrough, the figure that I seen, he had like a pointy face, not your typical looking. Some people see what looks like gray aliens and stuff, but this one, everything about his face was pointy, from his nose to his chin to even the way the top of his head, the crown was on his head. So I believe that maybe that could be past loved ones, that could be different versions of ourselves, that could be different, knowledge, spirit guides that actually live and reside in them realms and make us who we are. And that, I don't know, about that, but I do believe that that's what we're doing when we have that experience and a breakthrough. We're just disconnecting our physical and non-physical from each other. And we're able to travel to them different places. Now, like I've said many times, shamans, monks through meditation and different means, they could do this without the need of psychedelics. But we just can't do
We
that.
just
So this
can't
is
do
just
that.
the
So this
easy
is
way
just
for
the
us
easy
to
way for us
experience
to
that
experience
without
that
training our
without
bodies
training
to be
our
able to
bodies to be
disconnect.
able to
Now, like I've
disconnect.
been
Now,
in
like
some
I've
deep
been in some deep
meditations
where I
my
feel like my
spirit has left
spirit
my
has
body
left my
almost like a
body almost
DMT
like a
trip, but
DMT
not
trip,
as
but not
intense
as
or
intense
vivid,
or vivid. You know,
Me
even
too.
when we was
even when
at
we was at
Tripoli in Orlando,
Tripoli in Orlando,
and I was
and
out by
I
the
was
pool
out
early
by
in
the
the
pool
morning,
early in
everybody
the
was
morning.
sleeping. I was
Everybody was sleeping.
meditating
I
out
was
by the
meditating
pool,
out by the pool,
waiting for the sun to come
waiting for
up,
the
and
sun to come
I
up, and
could
I
literally
could
feel
literally
my
feel my
spirit or my
spirit
energy
or my energy
disconnect from my body,
disconnect
and it
from my
felt like it
body, and
was
it felt like
floating,
it was floating,
hovering.
hovering.
And I
And I
was there
was
in my
there
head
in my
for
head
maybe
for
20 minutes
maybe
or so,
20
but
minutes
really
or
I was
so,
out there
but
for a
really I was
couple of
out there for a
hours.
couple
But
of
it
hours.
seemed
But
like it
it
was
seemed
only a
like it
few
was
minutes.
only a few
And
minutes.
then
And
the only
then
way
the
I even
only
came
way
out of
I
it,
even
I
came out
believe
of
you
it, I
came
believe
outside.
you came
And
outside.
I was getting
And I
up,
was
like, and
getting
out to
up,
it
like,
kind of
and out
snapped
to it
me
kind
out
of
of
snapped me
the
out of
trance that I
the
was in.
trance that I was in.
But
But
you know,
you know,
it's an amazing
it's an
thing. And
amazing
I mean,
thing.
even
And
now
I mean,
with
even now
what
with
just happened
what just
with
happened
Denver,
with Denver,
and I mean,
and I mean,
more and more
more and
information's
more
gonna come to
information is
light
going to
when
come to
more and more
light when
people
more
have
and more
access
people have
to
access
these
to
different
these
tools. That's
different
just how it
tools.
is.
That's
You know
just
what I
how it
mean?
is.
It's
You know what I
like
mean? It's like
even you guys
even you
paranormal
guys
investigating.
paranormal
I mean, you got
investigating. I
bullshit
mean, you got
people, you got
bullshit
good
people, you
people,
got
right? You
good
got
people,
people
right? You
that are
got
just
people that are
bullshitters, and you
just
got people that
bullshitters, and
really
you got
want to
people that really
do
want to
the
do
field
the
and the
field
science of
and the
justice
science
and
of
want to get
justice and want to
real
get
evidence or
real evidence
debunk it.
or
You know,
debunk
it's
it.
either
You know,
it's one
it's
or the
either
other.
it's
It's
one or
like,
the other.
hey,
It's
either I
like,
want to prove
hey,
it's
either
real,
I
I
want
want
to
to
prove it's
prove
real,
it's
I want to
complete
prove it's
nonsense.
complete nonsense.
But
But
you
you
kind
know,
of
you
to
kind
be
of to be
good, you have to
good, you
stand
have to
in the middle. You
stand in
can't
the middle.
lean
You
towards
can't
one
lean
side or the
towards
other
one side or
until
the
you know
other
for sure,
until
until
you
you
know
have
for
all the
sure, until you
facts.
have
You
all the
know,
facts, you know.
and
And
but the more people
but
that
the
are out
more
there
people that are
doing it,
out
and
there
the more
doing
people
it,
that
and the
are
more people that are
legitimately
legitimately
researching, the
researching,
more
the more
information we'll be able to
information we'll
gather,
be
the
able
more
to gather,
facts
the
we'll
more
be able to
facts we'll be able
understand.
to
You know,
understand, you know.
that's just what it is. And I
That's
feel
just what it
like
is. And I feel like, you
now
know,
the way
now
things
the
are, the
way
work
things are, the work
everybody's doing
everybody's doing
will be good.
will be
Yep.
good.
And actually, folks, not to, I have to plug it though. If you have Amazon Prime, especially if you don't, you want to check it out. Season 1, Episode 1 of Paranormal Hood is actually on Amazon Prime, and Willie actually is making an appearance on that episode. So if you have Amazon Prime, go over, do it justice, check it out. Let us know if you like it. Come back, give us some feedback.
Yeah,
All right?
Willie's out there looking for the truth too. He's out there doing the investigations. We trying to find the answers, figure out if this stuff is real, if it's bullshit. When we find out, we'll let you know.
It all goes
Look,
hand in hand.
look, I'm saving some
I'm
stuff
saving
because
some
we
stuff
have
because
some
we
things
have
coming up
some
this
things
summer
coming up
that
this
we're going
summer
to be
that
doing.
we're
But
going to be doing.
you
But
know,
you know,
in
in
that
that
project that we're going to do
project
this
that we're
summer,
gonna
I'm
do
going to
this
get
summer,
really
I'm gonna
deep.
get
Like I've
really deep.
shared
Like
some of
I've
my stuff
shared
with
some of
you
my
guys
stuff
that
with you
even
guys
set me
that
on this
even
path,
set me
but a
on
lot
this
of people
path. But a
don't
lot of
know
people don't know
that the whole
that the
reason I
whole
even
reason
went
I
down the
even
path
went
of
down the path of
psychedelics and I started
psychedelics
getting
and I started
into,
getting into,
spiritual
spiritual
energy,
energy.
where are
What
we
is it?
going,
Where are we
was
going?
because of
Was
a
because of
paranormal
a
experience
paranormal
that I had
experience
when
that
I
I
was
had
five,
when I
six
was
years old
5, 6
at
years
my
old
grandmother's
at my
house.
grandmother's house.
And
And
that kind of
that
sparked
kind of sparked
my brain
my
going like,
brain
all right, how do
going
I
like, all right,
explain
how
this?
do I
How
explain
did
this?
this
How
happen?
did this
And
happen?
that's
And
what just led me
that's what
down
just
this
led me
crazy
down this
path that
crazy
ended up
path that
becoming what
ended
it
up
is.
becoming
But
what it is.
if it
But
wasn't for
if it
that one
wasn't for that
singular
one singular
experience that
experience
sparked,
that sparked,
my mind,
my
I
mind,
don't know
I
if
don't
I would
know
be doing
if
what
I
I'm
would be
doing
doing
today.
what
But
I'm
it was
doing
really
today. But
because
it
of
was
that. So
really
that's why
because
I
of that.
always
So
had a
that's why I
passion
always had a
for
passion
the
for
paranormal.
the paranormal. I was like, I'm not
A
a
hardcore, you
hardcore,
know,
you
everything
know,
is paranormal,
everything is
right? Like
paranormal, right? Like
Everything is
any like
paranormal.
I'm a skeptic
I'm a
Well, everything
skeptic
is
at the same
too
paranormal,
time.
at
though.
the same
Everything is
time.
paranormal. Nothing is normal. But
Life in general
yeah,
is paranormal. I mean, because nothing is normal. What
No,
is normal? But we know
But
what you're
not
saying. We got you.
but
We got
like
you,
that. I'm
sis.
saying
not
on a
like that. I'm
ghost
saying on a
aspect
ghost
on,
Exactly.
aspect
Like you're not
on,
out there every single day, all the time, and
every
every
people, some
people
people go
some
online
people
and
go
they'll
online and
watch
they'll
any
watch
video that's
any
online, video that's online, and they'll be like, oh shit, that's real. That's fact. That's fact. That's it. But like me, I've had my own experiences, but I keep them reserved. I'm gonna share them in that project that we're gonna do this summer, and the Trip Team family's gonna get to know a lot more about my journey to where I started and where it got me to, and how this all came about. I'm gonna share all that because it's really important on
what
made me who I am today. But
I'm also a skeptic.
Like,
and
I was explaining this to Jiggy when we was going out to the last thing that we did.
We was in
We was in my Sprinter van,
and we
had my driver, Wiz had a camera, and Jiggy was there, and I was explaining to him, I'm like, look, Jiggy,
even if we had
HD or 4K video of a ghost
walking up to us,
right?
And
She's saying, I'm a ghost.
and we bring that,
nobody is gonna believe it, and they're still gonna, no matter how good the evidence is,
you're
then
never gonna get
people to
it's
say, okay,
legit.
it's
So
legit.
it's
So it's
You'll
always
get
gonna be a
percentage of
split.
people. There'll be a
Yeah.
percentage of people,
Yeah.
but there's always going to be the people who won't believe it. But that's the whole thing about trying to replicate those things. So let's say, like with the project this summer, we're going to have a chance to possibly replicate something because we may be in a situation where in a place, say, repetitively at certain times or something like that. So if something does happen, it might be something to know to look for, note for, and maybe work on that, trying to find something that's repetitive.
And I agree that.
I agree 100%. But what I mean by it is,
even
if we had that perfect
evidence,
the ghost is up and talking to us, like, hey, yeah, I'm a ghost, I died on this day,
Like,
whatever. Like the most
perfect
perfect shit you could ever have. If we bring that to the scientific community, they're gonna say,
she's not here.
she's not here. We can't test this. We can't. They're still gonna say. So it's never gonna be accepted, no matter how good the evidence is. So it's up to us to go out there and do what we do. Like, that's my whole thing with the psychedelics. Like, man, like, you have no idea.
When I
first started this, people looked at me like I was crazy
for
psychedelics, right? Like, I lost a lot of friends. A lot of people didn't believe in what I was doing. I mean, my own family. Some of them turned their backs on me because I left. Like,
You don't believe in QAnon, do you?
No.
Okay.
No.
It just sounds like those people who believe in QAnon.
So many people, like, you know, like, because I left a good career, things like this, people were calling me stupid.
And they just didn't understand it.
But now you see with this legalization stuff, like, things are starting to
become valid
in a way. Like, you know, and it's just gonna become more and more important and crucial in everyday life. I mean, even when cannabis first,
they were even
considering legalization. You know,
anybody that
used cannabis was a hippie or whatever, and now it's actually looked at as a real medicine. You know, even by science. Science even
is looking at it
like that. So I want to get psychedelics to that point. So I mean, I feel like
what happened with
the vote was a huge win for everybody, man. I'm super excited. How do you guys feel about it?
Dope as hell. I think it's a move in the right
I think
direction.
it is too. It's a move. They're talking about it in the chat, and instead of typing it all out, I can just kind of say it because they're like, oh, hopefully the government doesn't get involved in stuff. Well, obviously the government's going to be involved with it and stuff, but it's not like the way people think and stuff, like, oh, now that the weed's legal, Monsanto and all this stuff is going to happen. Yeah, some of these companies are going to come in, they're going to try and get their piece of the money and stuff like that. But as everybody knows in the weed community, and the same thing goes for mushroom community, grow your own. Okay, and with these laws, you're able to grow your own, or you can get it from people who grow it and stuff. And people who smoke weed, it's like wine and stuff like that. You want the good organic stuff. You want to be able to taste and have everything, the whole stuff. You don't want this store-bought bullshit, fucking everything. You know, yeah, some people like their box wine or whatever and stuff like that, and they're gonna have that. People will be there with the box fucking weed and the box mushroom fucking grows and stuff. But for the most part, with these laws, when the states legalize weed, and now with Denver, you're allowed to grow it. You're allowed to have so much on you and stuff. It keeps it in the Trip Team family, in the growing communities and stuff. And the people who are part of those communities are actually the people who are helping get these laws passed. So they're able to kind of have some control and some say with it and stuff. They're obviously going to limit how much you can have and how much you can grow and stuff, and they're going to tax it when you can start selling it recreationally in stores or like the weed and stuff like that. So they will have things like that, and there are going to be companies that come in and they have their fucking chemically grown fucking shit whatever and fucking, you know, advertise bullshit fucking mushroom fucking with super potencies and all that bullshit, just like every other thing in the fucking world. But it's good that it's a grassroots movement and stuff like that, so it kind of helps it to keep it that way. But you're always going to get government and big corporations involved somehow when money's involved.
So I can speak from experience. So I don't know if you guys remember. So when I went back a couple years ago, chance meeting, I was in first class, and the person sitting next to me was the owner of Sarah, which is one of the biggest dispensaries in Boston. And they were going out to Las Vegas because they were opening up a dispensary out there. We ended up becoming friends, talking. He knew about my work. I knew about his dispensaries here in Cambridge and other places throughout Massachusetts. And we ended up talking. So we ended up talking about the legalization of mushrooms, and we ended up talking about, and this is an exclusive. I only a couple people know this. So we ended up talking about partnering up on a grow, some type of grow thing or a dispensary, since he already had dispensaries in Colorado. So we had been talking about this for about 2 years now. And we said, all right, if it gets legalized, let's try to be the first in line to see how we could set up a grow up, or we could set up a dispensary, or incorporate it into his dispensaries that he already currently has. So the problem with the big corporations is the big corporations have the big money, right? So they're the ones that could come in, and if Colorado says we're gonna give five license for commercial grow ups, then they could say each one of them licenses is going to cost $5 million or $2 million, some crazy number. But these big companies are the ones that could come in and buy that like it's nothing, which kind of leaves the little guy like myself and Sarah out of the running, because at the end of the day, that might be our total budget for the whole operation. I mean, purchasing the building, setting up, employees, everything. So, that's the problem with the big companies. And the problem is, if big companies buy out them X amount of license that they might give out, only things that might be commercially available are products from a big company. And you could grow yourself. I've taught thousands and thousands of people how to grow, but not everybody could grow. You know what I'm saying? Just whether their circumstance at home, or whatever. So or maybe they're just fucking lazy. I mean, that's really what it is for some people. Some people are just lazy, and they'd rather the convenience of being able to just go purchase high quality mushrooms from organic, artisan, whatever the case may be, from a convenient place.
That you just mentioned is a great thing, especially I know it's in this, actually every law that I've read in every state that's legalized weed for medical and recreational, it's part of the law that it has to be organically grown. In Massachusetts, it has to be organically grown, and you have to show how you grow it to these people and stuff. So these big companies that can come in with their money and everything like that, they have to still follow the laws that are still set, and these laws are set. It has to be, especially the medical stuff. And when because a lot of these states are gonna, I don't know how they went recreational out in Denver, but it's Denver and stuff. But a lot of other states are gonna have to follow with the medical thing with mushrooms, I think, and where it's medical, it's got to be organically grown and stuff like that.
And I agree. Yeah, so they're gonna control it.
So we still have that thing about it where these people are always like, oh, Monsanto, all these companies are going to come in. Yeah, they have the money and they can come in, but they still have to follow the law, and they have to grow it organically.
They do. But at the end of the day, too, this is the issue. Like, I'm not even, growing the right way and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, are they going to hire and employ and use people that are actually knowledgeable on the subject, that have been here since they've built a foundation?
Is I've been to some of these ones in Massachusetts, and I know people in California and stuff, and they do they hire people. They want people that have been the underground goers. And one of the people I know, he was big on YouTube, and now he runs one of the dispensaries, one of the grows for one of the dispensaries down in Brookline, not in the one in Brookline, down in Brockton. And they just found him on Sarge Grows on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, we want you to run our grow and stuff like that. So they are doing it like that, and they're finding the people that have been growing up in the mountains of California and stuff like that, and bringing them down. And so that's the beauty of it. And they're gonna want people with the mushrooms. They're gonna want the Willie Micos and stuff like that. The guys that are part of this, and because it was a black market, a underground thing, and so nobody's like, so who are they gonna go to? Who's the professional? Well, we got to go to the guys that are underground that want to come out of underground and become public eye and stuff. So they're going to use people like you and other things like that. Because these big companies, who they going to use? What faces are they going to use? What are they going to do?
Yeah. So
anyways,
aside from all that, who cares? I'm excited. Like I said, it's a win. And at the end of the day, it is a win. It is a win. Any way you look at it, and we're just gonna have to see how things play out. Regardless, and this is, I'll be completely open. I don't care. Like, I'll show my tax returns and shit. I'm not Trump. So at the end of the day, so I actually have almost 300,000 of my own money tied up in a dispensary for mushrooms with Sarah right here in Boston. So hopefully things work out and we can get a license. You know what I'm saying? Even if we have to put up just hopefully they go about it the right way, man. I mean, this has been something 2 years in the making, and if the vote didn't pass, we wouldn't have lost anything. But now that the vote did pass, I feel like we have more to lose now because we need to get our hands on one of them licenses.
See if a whole state can pass it next.
No, exactly. So here we go. So I'm excited, guys. You guys have done amazing, man. The show is great. Like, and I can't wait to work on more projects with you guys. But look, I have this grow kit giveaway, and I told people, I was going to give it away live on your show. So right now, I want to announce the winner for the first grow kit. So this is a complete grow kit, start to finish. 6 BRF cake, shotgun fruiting chamber, perlite, RH, temp gauge, LED light. CFL light, everything that you need to start growing. I'm going to give a couple of these kits away, but this is the first winner. So the first winner is Bart Butcher. So Bart Butcher, you know who you are. You're one of my Patreon supporters. I'm going to screenshot everything and I'll put it on Instagram so you know it's you. Congratulations, brother. Just hit me up and we'll get your kit sent out to you. Congratulations. And anybody else that wants to win a complete grow kit, start to harvest, just go check me out on Patreon. But congratulations. At the end of the day, did you guys talk about what your future plans are with your show and what's coming up? Or
well, as we get later on in the night, but like you said, we have some stuff coming up with you. We're doing some joint stuff with you and everything, and just different projects coming this summer. Episode 2 is coming up on Amazon Prime. That should be up actually really soon. So they'll get a look inside our secret location we had access to that nobody else got to see. We haven't even got you in there yet. If we can, we don't even know if we can anymore because the place is kind of deteriorating.
Well, I mean, the place that the project that we're going to be working on this summer that will be released in October. I mean, man, that's going to be pretty fucking crazy, bro. I mean, you got to think, we're not just going into a place and spending the night there, bro. We're going to live there for a couple of days. So we're really going to be in the shit. Now, the crazy thing about the place we're going to, it's going to blow a lot of people's minds, and maybe you know this because you're an intelligent gentleman, but a lot of people don't know this, and I almost got into a fist fight with somebody over this. I'm not even lying. So this was about a year ago. I went to New Orleans. I went on a tour, and they started telling me about this really affluent, free African American woman that grew up. Her family was real affluent in New Orleans. She married a white French guy, but she was a free African American. But she actually owned 7 slaves, and she was an African American. So there was a couple black people in my group. It was a mixed group, and one of the girls was really upset. She's like, "Say that again." She told the person that was giving the tour. She's like, black people own slaves? And she's like, yeah, like that's not many, but yeah, a couple people did, you know, like if they had the money to do so and they had the power to do so, you know, that's what it was. It wasn't. So, and I ended up actually having to step in on that. I was trying to school her on it. I'm like, it wasn't like that. I'm like, some of these black people weren't all slaves. I mean, some of them were what was considered free African Americans, which at the end of the day still really weren't free, but they had more privileges than the average person. And maybe you could elaborate more, Jiggy, but pretty much at the end of the day, we're going to be in a place that was one of the only places in New Orleans that a black lady actually owned slaves, and that's crazy, bro. Like that's mind blowing to a lot of people.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Like,
listen,
What up, Willie?
that's Wiz over there. I don't know, you
oh,
can't
what's
see
up,
him,
Wiz,
but
bro?
that's
Oh, what's up, Wiz, bro? You're gonna be there too,
Yep,
right?
you know it.
All right, cool. All
it
right,
is.
cool.
So it's gonna be dope. I don't want to give too much away about it, so I don't even want to
No,
talk too much
no,
about it.
no, definitely. You gotta tease. You gotta give them something, man.
Well,
Like,
now they
and
know. Now
it's
they
gonna
know
be
the
a lot of fun.
destination. At least they got that out. That see, no one even knew that. So
Yeah,
they found
yeah.
the destination. So I've actually, I've been to New Orleans. I investigated New Orleans a few years ago. I don't even think that the wax museum I was at is there anymore, but I still have all the evidence from there. I kind of went through it. There's some odd pictures because this place with the pictures that I had, it didn't line up. This place wasn't new. It didn't have like some high tech security system, nothing. But I got all these like weird streaks. They're not orbs because people say orbs, they think about a light, but I'm talking about these insane streaks through a ton of pictures. And then there's a bunch of audio that's kind of odd. No, and it was weird because I went there in the afternoon and it was just us that was there. So there was nobody else in the place but the workers, and it was like two people there, and they were on the first floor. So it wasn't like there was anybody in the background trying to. I'm not talking about noises like knocks and shit. I'm talking about these insane pictures that you didn't see when you were taking them, and just a bunch of odd things. So that place I don't even think is there anymore. But the city is really cool. I really resent the fact that over the years of being a paranormal investigator and doing research, and a lot of people have spoken about New Orleans, talk about a lot of the evil that went on there, which was evil, but just like any other place, especially when you fucking talk about Massachusetts. So I never got a negative vibe there. That was the one thing. There wasn't a place that I've been to thus far where I felt any, my hair didn't stand up. I didn't feel anything but peace and love, especially a place that survived Katrina. And being there with people, having family there who took me around and showed me stuff and explained stuff to me. So to see how that city came back, and I can't even imagine what it is. It was just probably 4 years ago I went there, so I can't even imagine what it's like now and how it's built back much even more. Because it's like most of these major cities where I saw them building up, so I can imagine there's a whole bunch of new buildings and all that type of bullshit. But that the natives there are still there, that they survived, and it's still just a great city, great city. So I look forward to it.
Yeah, thing is, so the project that we'll work on, bro, it's gonna blow everything else out the water. Like the investments I made into this are gonna make it insane, bro. Like anybody who watches this project is gonna be blown away, and I guarantee you, we're gonna push the limits, man. Like every night, DMT before we go out for the night, like and start investigating. Like I really wanna try to incorporate, that with the paranormal and see if that will help us spark stuff and make more things happen. So it's gonna be paranormal, psychedelic, a whole bunch of good shit. So anybody that watches it is gonna be blown
There's
away.
going to be some friends in New Orleans who are actually some paranormal investigators. Some people may know who are going to be joining us and helping us guide the city and stuff like that, and navigate. It's going to be a really awesome time. So, folks, everybody who's listening right now, you actually heard it first because we haven't talked about this with anybody except for the folks who are involved. So. Just know it's a big project and it's going to be a lot of fun. And Willie, it's like I have to say it again. Shout out to you because you have been nothing but helpful family, because we don't have fans either, because it's family, and with the psychedelics, but also just with the project alone. Excuse me, you're there with us. You've investigated with us. We did
Been a part
Dudley
of the
Road
show for over 2 years
that's
now.
what I'm saying. So we really appreciate all the stuff that you do, folks. You do, and I just hope folks understand the Chip Team family that. Anybody who's listening for the first time, I know a lot of you folks are into psychedelics. If you listen a little bit to what we were talking about, so are we. So if you're into ghosts, aliens, everything, conspiracy theories, but a lot of real fucking talk, some weed smoke, psychedelics, anything, please subscribe. Tell a friend to be a friend. This is how we talk. This is what we do every Thursday night, and sometimes we have other stuff. And like we said, we're bringing new projects to you all the time. With Willie Michael, the Chip Team family, Amazon Prime, our stuff on VidiSpace and everything. So please subscribe and keep checking us out. But again, Willie, I wanted to just throw that in there. But thank you. We really appreciate all the stuff you do with us, man. It's going to be awesome. Like I look forward to it. I know how you do. Like you said, you were talking about Tripoween. Tripoween was awesome. Any of the Chip Team family who I met there and stuff, it was nothing but just a lovely time that Willie threw for the whole Chip Team family. It was just fun. I didn't get to do DMT or anything like that because I was kind of, just watching everything and make sure everything was cool. But it was a really great time. So if y'all know how Willie does stuff, you know that shit gets done right. So this is going to be a really fun project this summer.
No, definitely. But yo, for real, Paranormal Hood, I love you guys. These are my brothers and sisters. Like, even aside from everything else. I'm talking real life. Like, I really do care about you guys, and like, these are just good people. And any of my Chip Team family that love me, that watch my stuff, that might be listening, watching, whatever, show these guys love. I'm telling you, they do it consistently every week. And it's always, even if you just have it on in the background while you're doing housework or driving in your car or smoking or whatever, it's just always fun, good topics, and you could participate too, write to them, call in, do whatever, and let them know what you want to talk about and stuff. And I'm sure they'll bring up the topic. I mean, like, they're good people, like regular people, like you and me, hardworking people. So
and shit,
yo,
Willie, maybe the Chip Team family,
We do
keep
live
reach out
trip
to them.
shows.
They might reach out to you and tell you some new crazy shit that'd be worth us taking a trip to go investigate. It might be a nice little
you know
project
what?
to
That's a
do.
good idea. So if anybody is from New Orleans or had an experience in New Orleans or might even want to be part of the video, maybe be interviewed on their experience, reach out to Paranormal Hood, reach out to me, and let us know what happened and when it happened, and maybe we could get you in the project and do an interview, and you'll be able to meet up with all of us. So I love you guys. Look, I have to bounce, but yo, this was so real, and thank you for letting me give away the grow kit on your show and call in and congratulate you guys on your success in 6 years. This is to another 600 more. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey, I'll take it.
660 more years.
Whatever.
How about
666 more.
666?
Well, that's because it's been 6 years, so 660 more years.
Oh, there you go. 666. There you go. Yo, I love you guys. Do good, be good, live good. I'm out of here. Smoke. I'll talk to you later. Jiggy, I'll
Peace
talk
and
to you
love,
later.
brother.
All right,
See you
peace
later,
and
Willie.
love, Willie.
All right,
Willie.
see you.
Yo, Trip Team family, like we said, please just subscribe, man. And if you're in New Orleans or even beyond, if you guys are out there and maybe you got some real paranormal shit going on where you're at, we are Paranormal Hoods. There's not too many places we wouldn't go, that are safe. Well, what's safe, anyways? But let us know. Reach out to us. You never know. We might get to put a project together to come to your city or be in your city or your town. And you might be here in New England. You might be someplace close. We're on the East Coast. We're in Boston. So feel free to reach out to us. We're Paranormal Hood everywhere. The website, we don't even have a fucking website anymore. None of that generic bullshit anymore. Just be organic. Reach out to us. We're on all social media. Paranormal Hood, official Paranormal Hood at Gmail, paranormal@AOL.com. And just keep listening tonight. We're going to talk some more stuff. Maybe you guys are into some of the stuff we're going to be talking about because we got a couple more guests joining us. It's CPT. I don't know if we're going to find out if our next guest even know what CPT is. Let's find out.
We'll find out. So I'm going to get ready to get him in on the show here in a minute.
Let's see.
Stop bringing
Who's
him up.
next on the wheel? Let's ask the wheel. Who's next on the wheel?
Bring him. You want to bring him in next? You want to bring in her next?
Yep.
You want to bring in him next? All right, we'll go with him next.
Your assumptions are wrong.
All right, here we go.
See, the wheel told you your assumptions are wrong. Anybody like video games? That's my favorite jam right there. Yeah, we need to make this into a fucking rap song. Like, remix this shit. That might be more of an EDM kind of song. That's like an EDM song.
Skype music.
Somebody had to have done that. I'm sure. It's gotta be someone.
See, I go old school in beatboxing. I told you, CW, that Jordan Sather couldn't see me in a rap battle. He would want none of this. Murder, your life's on the line. I don't know.
He's not available.
Yeah, he might be. Let's see. He might be on his. We have to go to his live stream and give me a second.
Can you raid people on? I don't think you can raid people on YouTube.
You said give him 1 minute, so we'll give him 1 minute, everybody. So.
All right. So,
He's got to get out of bed, guys.
I'll say this before I introduce our next guest, because Natasha, again, anybody who's fans of Mysterious Forces, Natasha, she had a rough night, so she couldn't be with us. So just send her some peace and love and some positive vibes. But okay. So if anybody was going to ask us in 6 years how we've grown the most, I have said as paranormal investigators, the best thing to do is keep investigating. Always investigate. As we got into this stuff, kind of with Ghost, Coast to Coast AM and all that type of stuff, and a lot of the same stuff, we started to see patterns of things that were just didn't make sense. People we've been following for years, investigating their stories, which all sounded good and stuff, and all sounded great on the cream, on the fluff, as we like to call it, that sits at the top. When you do YouTube searches and you do
Not to bash YouTube, because there's a lot of good information on
I
there.
didn't just say YouTube. I didn't say.
No, because a lot of people out there, they're like, oh, you just watch YouTube videos. No, there's a lot of good YouTube videos after you go through all the bullshit. That's the problem with YouTube is the bullshit is all at the top.
But not even just YouTube, the internet,
Everywhere.
You know, there's just patterns, there's algorithms, and these folks work hard to have their names and stuff at the top in their stories. But as you search and stuff, and you keep searching,
I don't think it's just that. I think these companies actually put this bullshit at the top, and they say, "Oh no, we're trying to get it off of there. We're trying to get it off there." But they want it there. They want the bullshit there. They don't want people fucking searching and finding out the real fucking information. So they put the fucking bullshit at the fucking top. The cream of the crop goes at the bottom, and the shit goes on top.
So we keep digging. 6 years plus, just 6 years as a
plus years.
podcast. But
Go back, listen
investigators
to
and
everything, and see. You can hear. You know, we would used to be. You know,
Yeah.
used to think this stuff was certain subjects were a lot more plausible, but now we know it's not fucking plausible at all.
That we work with the 70-30 rule.
70-30.
The
Good rule to live by.
the 5-minute rule and talking to people and stuff. Like, there's just rules that we've learned. There's levels to this shit. There's rules to the fucking game, and we've learned them, and we keep learning. And that's the whole thing. If you call yourself investigators, like, you're doing your self-diligence. If you're still investigating the same thing, the same places for years, what are you really investigating? What's new? You know, what have you proven in all these years? You know, have you repetitively proved something? Is there some absolute proof? We haven't seen it yet. Even we haven't provided it. We're believers. Do not get us wrong. Let me let everybody know. Anybody who knows us, Cool K, anybody, if I don't know if she's still with us, folks who've listened to us for years, we are believers. It's not that we don't believe. We just want the truth. We are looking for the truth. It's cool to just go investigate and just always say, oh, I found something because there's noises in the night, or there's lights in the sky, or there's bumps, or there's things that aren't explainable unless you really, really do some research. And most likely you could probably explain most of this stuff. But it's more than that. You have to do real research. If folks just wanted to keep hearing us talking about the same old shit, having the same old regurgitated guests, it's easy to do. Trust me. It's easy to reach out to all this hundreds, thousands, probably millions of people you can reach out to have them on as guests. Why? Just to fill up time talking to random people about random shit. We've tried to do that.
Not random shit, because a lot of them, it's the same old fucking story, just fucking different spin on it and everything. And, you know, we've done that. We've listened to some of these people. And it's like, well, why are we going to have this next guy on? Because his story's the same as the last guy. And we found out that this is all bullshit. And we're like, do we keep going with bullshit? And we're like, we just can't as people. We're just like, we just can't, you know, finding out. Because I'm sure a lot of these people that pushed a lot of this shit is like, they get to this point where we are, and they're like, well, it's the sunken ship fallacy, where they got so much fucking invested into the fucking boat, and no matter what they fucking do, it keeps on fucking sinking.
There's my music.
And they got so much invested, so they just keep going and trying to get this boat to fucking float, and it ain't gonna float. And we were just like, well, we can't keep going like that, you know what I mean? So.
Hello? Hello? Hello, is anybody there? Hello?
Oh, he's got a poor network connection.
He's got a poor network connection. Uh-oh. He got that ghetto connection.
Oh, sexy girlfriend!
You want it on stage one. Hello, caller. Are you there? Hello? What the? Where the? You need to get him. Why is it always a? It's probably the evil, you know, the cabal people, and C, and then you know that guy David, and then Emery, and then Corey, and then Jason. They're probably fucking with his connection. Hello, are you there? You want it on stage one?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Dude, get out the bathroom. Oh my God! Seriously, CW? Like, really? That's how you're gonna start the show in the loo?
Am I in the bathroom?
Well, we could hear it. I don't know how you're manipulating that. I don't know if that's really you. You might be a LARPer, or you might have a double in there.
Aren't we all LARPers at the end of the day?
So, ladies and gentlemen, folks, let me explain something to you. And in finding one again, Natasha, shout out to her because she couldn't be with us. She's not feeling too well, but she hit me to somebody not too long ago. And I started hearing these words. I had to fucking look up words, doxing and all the LARPers and all this type of shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like the hood.
Himself a nerd too.
Who? Oh, he does? Oh, I am a nerd, but I'm
He's a
saying I'm
comic
not.
book nerd,
I'm a
comic
comic book
But
nerd.
you
I'm a
should know
sci-fi
what a
nerd and
LARPer
stuff.
is.
But I don't. Oh, okay. But I don't. LARPer. I just fucking say what it is. Like we didn't fucking use what is that, an acronym or what? How the fuck do you even? Yeah, we didn't use acronyms. We would just say live action role player. What the fuck?
Come on,
It's a LARPer.
that's a D&D thing.
But
The live. The
I never
LARPers
fucking
play
played Dungeons.
D&D.
Listen, I said I'm half nerd. I wasn't. I didn't. You never go full nerd. You don't never do that because you never come back. I didn't go full nerd. Okay. I did not play Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't even really like the cartoon. So calm the fuck down. I'm not that much of a nerd. But I'm saying I got introduced to these words, and then I get introduced to this guy, and I'm telling you, it's like I will tell you, CW. As sad as it might be for your haters and stuff like that, your detractors, whatever the words might be, the fact that for me, you have surpassed Joe Rogan in my listening.
Oh, get the fuck. Oh,
in my
wonderful,
listening
man.
time.
God bless you.
In my listening time, I cannot fucking lie. You, Steve Cambion, Joe from the Carolinas, like once you fucking listen to you, like you start like going like, what the fuck? Who are these people? You know, what are they talking about and stuff? And you just start going down. It's a whole nother rabbit hole, because I was so ParanormalHooD. That's the name of the fucking show. It's what we were. You know, we started with the Coast to Coast AM. At least I did. Like for me, that's.
Oh yeah, back in the day, that's the one game in town.
I got introduced to them by accident. Like I was on a bodyguard gig one night and went to a gas station. I thought the fucking world was ending because these people are so captivated by what they're listening to. And on the way home, I got it on my fucking truck. Then I get home, I got it on in my fucking house because the shit goes off at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. Then I'm fucking addicted to that, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a community of people who have had actual experiences like mine. So let me go down this rabbit hole. And then, you know, post brain surgery, post all this stuff that has happened to me and stuff, it was just a really comforting place to be. And I'm like, all right, there's all these stories, all these people and stuff. So that just began the investigating. And now with the podcast, we're here we are 6 years later, having talked about a lot of these people, having done a ton of research on these people and stuff. But then we find people like you who are doing even more research and have been involved in watching these people just as long, if not longer than we have, and start putting this stuff together. And it's like, wait a minute, this has been a cool fucking ride, but you know what? It's like psychedelics for me. Like, I don't want to watch Alice in Wonderland on psychedelics, and I don't want to be in Alice in Wonderland in the fucking paranormal field. And watching that shift over the years, where it went from just kind of ghost and, you know, aliens and everything, all of a sudden it's, you know, peace and love, which is fine. And then all of a sudden you get all this other stuff, ascension and all this 5D and 6D and aliens and blue fucking chicken fucking aliens and shit I've never heard of. Like this, what the fuck are these people talking about? And all these crazy stories. And then I find CW Chanter, who starts to put some of it together. And he's talking about it. And I'm like, yo, this dude is fucking dope. So I've listened, brother. And I've listened attentively. And thank you to folks like Kelly Palmer, who we're going to try to get in a little while. I don't know. We're trying to work all this out because we don't know how to fucking do this multiple Skype thing. I don't know if it's going to work now.
You got time, man. You got time to learn. I like what you're doing, and as time goes on, you're gonna be the Zen masters of it. You'll have people in, you'll have people out, you'll have people fighting, you'll have debates. You'll be doing good, man. But OBS is a little bit of an intimidating program. I respect you for being able to do anything with it, man. I can't make that shit work for nothing.
But we got the Wiz here right now. He's the one who got the OBS working and stuff, and things go wrong.
Hats off to the Wiz, man.
I'm just a talent. I got to tell you up front, I'm just a talent and stuff like that. And when it comes to all this technical shit, I don't know shit about it. I really don't. I
do pretty good with it, but
OBS is the coolest program ever.
What, though?
That's all I have to say.
Work the fuck out of a soundboard.
Is that the wizard? We got the voice of the wizard from behind the
behind the curtain
screen.
You guys can't see me, but I'm hiding.
He's behind the iron curtain.
See, we have our own outsiders. We don't do insiders around here. We do outsiders. See, we have people who just are real fucking people who do real shit and not fucking made up fucking bullshit and fucking crazy fantastical stories and fucking outlandish fucking chicken aliens and age regressions and fucking, oh my God. Yo, can I ask you one question, CW? I don't think if I got that. Do you know anybody who actually went to the Ascension? And I say Ascension, like ASS Ascension. Mystery schools. Do you know one person who actually paid and went to that? Have you found anybody?
Well, it was an online thing.
Hey,
But...
no one that's going to admit it. You know what I mean? We've got.
Not anybody that's going to admit it to us. I've been looking, but I can't find any. Most of the people that I know that would go to that, they all blocked me. So
I just wish there was like one person who was like on YouTube all of a sudden was like, yo, so listen, fuck it. You know, I had the money. I had some fucking.
I'm sure we could probably search and find. If we do a search, we can find somebody who's like somebody's out there giving a fucking some kind of critique of the fucking Ascension school.
Ascension.
You know what I think. You know what I think is really what really happens with that is that you're dealing with people at that level, level of financial commitment. You know, you got people that are already really deep in it.
Well, that's what I was just talking about. It's the sunken ship fallacy, where they're so invested in this fucking shit that fucking no matter how much they fucking dump into this fucking piece of shit, they're just gonna keep going. They're going down with it.
Keep going, right.
We don't care what
they
happens.
They can't give up. They got too much invested.
We don't need no water. Let this motherfucker burn.
Does not compute.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
Eventually what happens, just like people leaving Scientology, even though they got to leave after they've invested $150,000, $250,000, you're going to get people that are going to come out and start spilling the beans. You know what I mean? If only because I think you're going to see our side of the fence growing more and more stronger every day. I think integrity is on our side. And where goes integrity goes good karma, and where goes good karma goes growth.
Yeah.
Those guys I think they are at the tail end. I think Corey Good represents the end of a narrative cycle that we're not going to have to deal with much longer, much longer. Billy Meyer, George Adamski,
I don't know. I don't know.
Trevor, the guy that from the Fire in the Sky movie, Trevor Walton.
Travis Walton.
These celebrity contactees and experiencers. I think they're an old paradigm. I mean, I think there's plenty of people out here that have had anomalous experiences that we can all talk around the campfire with each other and not worry about putting anyone on a stage, putting anyone on a pedestal, or making a hero out of anybody. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's a lot of just bullshit. You know, what it really comes down to is things like anomalous things happen in the world. Things like the Fatima miracle or Roswell or, the strange historical moments in time like September 11th, 2001. Strange moments that happen every once in a while. The JFK assassination that do crystallize and catalyze a lot of questions and a lot of things. But, those happen every once in a while, but communities want to rise up and it's hard work to do the hard work of going over the minutia and the detailed information, and not to just think that you know all the answers from Jump Street after, watching one documentary film on YouTube. But this community, they don't want to just deal with the fact that Roswell happened or this anomalous, strange sighting or the Phoenix Lights or whatever. They want the Phoenix Lights to be happening every day. They want Roswell to be happening every day. So in their effort to have something to talk about, something new and unique that they can enjoy just the surface level of, rather than just having to do the deep dive in to the minutia, they just keep on coming up with shit. And that's why they go and have these fantasy guys like Corey Good. They want something to happen so bad, they're not willing to wait for Jesus Christ. They're just going to go ahead and say, you'll do. This guy over here, you want to
trade one religion for another, pretty much. They're trading one religion for another. That's all they're doing. Like all these folks, just like myself, and I'm not saying I ever bought into anybody's bullshit, but I was religious my whole life. I sang in the choir. I did all that shit. I listened to church, but I remember getting in trouble cleaning the church one Sunday. Not Sunday, but it was like a Monday morning. I used to clean the church. I used to get paid to clean the church. I'm on the pulpit. Nobody's in the church, I don't think, but me. And I'm on the pulpit doing exactly what the preacher does, emulating the preacher. And I got in trouble for it. And why are you talking like that? I was like, well, that's what the preacher does. Well, I get told my whole life, oh, you'd make a good preacher. You'd make a lot of money. Like, that's not what I thought, that all, like, ascension, about life after death, about a higher purpose, about being good to yourself. I took away from the Bible, I took away from religion, all that type of stuff, the best parts of it, understanding that the true meaning of religion should be peace and love. Simple things, not all this extraordinary stuff, not all these elaborate tales that are unnecessary. The bottom line should be about spreading peace and love. That's it. Start from there and work your way out. And then you get all this stuff now falling deep into the paranormal. All these years, Smoke King and I, all of us doing research and stuff, actually pounding the pavement, and then listening to these people. But then going to see these people in person and listening to them, and I'm going to quote the great C.W. Chanter, it's clown shoes. It really is. Like seeing some of this stuff that these people, who they are in person and what they do, and then you start to see the nuances about them and the stuff. And I'm a bodyguard. I own a security company. It's what I've done for 25 years plus. My job, even as a bouncer in clubs and stuff like that, was to look around the room, see who didn't look like, they belonged in the room, who looked like they weren't having a good time, to look to see when the crowd would spread because a fight would start and stuff. You wouldn't see how things would start. That's how you know where the trouble is and stuff. You don't just sit there scratching your ass and looking at girls' asses or trying to fall asleep. You learn things.
Hey, don't knock my hobby.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're into.
There's nothing wrong with falling asleep.
You do that in the club, though. I'm going to kick you out, though. You fall asleep in the club, I'm kicking you out. That means you weren't having a good time. You should go home and go to fuck to sleep. So I'd probably kick you out for that. But that's what I'm saying. And then you go and see these people in person and stuff, and it's like these grandiose shows, and beyond just what they say, the extra security and the extra, you got to see me, and these tales by like the fucking campfire that are happening in hotel lobbies and stuff. And it's just like, what the fuck are you people talking about? This sounds exactly like religion. Like, this is the same shit. This sounds like exactly all the comic books in my 49 years I've ever read. All the movies and stuff I've seen, sci-fi movies and books that I read and stuff like that. Like, he said, I'm half nerd.
That's all,
like,
that's all real, though. You didn't know all that stuff's real. They put it in the comic books and in movies.
Yeah, I'll tell you it was real.
So you know it's real.
But no, but they didn't even, the funny thing about that is I bet you that most of these guys, CW, I don't know if you ever read comic books, if you know anything about Stan Lee, and especially let's talk about the X-Men for a second.
Yeah.
I bet you that most of those people aren't even deep enough to actually have read those comic books and take away how art imitated life and what they were talking about and who Professor X represented. He represented Martin Luther King, and that Magneto represented Malcolm X, and that the legacy virus that the mutants got represented AIDS and stuff like that. They're not deep enough to have read those comic books to understand exactly what those comic books back then, because they don't really represent a lot of that stuff in the movies. The movies are really kind of different than the comic books.
Dimension of what's in the books.
Right, but they're not smart enough to have read that and got that. They're smart enough, I guess you could say, because they're having fun doing it, taking away the various aliens that appeared in a million different Marvel and DC comics and Image and every other fucking comic book that's ever been out, that have been in all the books and the movies that we've all read and stuff like that, and X-Files and fucking Sliders and everything else you could fucking think. Well, I watched all that shit. I read all that shit. I know all that shit. So what the fuck? Like, we're looking around and we're like, we're perplexed. What is the word? How do you say it? Is it proclaimed? I don't know. I kind of use a big word here.
Yeah, no, it's like the coffee talk.
Yeah,
the coffee talk.
It's and then to see these people in person, CW, and you're going to an event. And I don't know. Again, I'm going to say this outright. I don't care what anybody says. I don't knock events. I love events. I love meeting great people. I like being able to expand some of people who are kind of into this stuff in the right way and not fucking hit me with shit that I'm just like, yo, please leave me alone. Like, I don't want to hear any more of this. So it's not the events. It's not even all the speakers, because there's some great speakers and there's some pushback from even some of these speakers. But at most of these events, some of these people who are talking, it's just like, dude, like any evidence?
I can sum up most of these people talking and stuff like that. It's Zachariah Sitchin regurgitated with a little bit of fucking words like quantum physics and shit thrown in there and everything, and a little bit of modern technology thrown into the same shit that he said fucking 45, 50 years ago.
CW, you had to pick what your quantum skills are. I'm the quantum sex master.
Oh, that's a good one. Last night I was talking about quantum tantra.
I know, that's why I said everybody has to pick a quantum. You got to be a quantum master at something in order to be in this field, right? I'm a quantum sex master.
You know that game? It's like it's like your porno name. It's like your first pet and the road you grew up on. Yes. There's got to be like an equivalent for like what your research subject is going to be in this world. And it's going to be something like you take a word from column A, like quantum or atomic or astral. Yep. And then you'll add it to like a column number 3, which is like
well, we should make up one of those.
Scale.
Have it as like an Instagram fucking poll thing or something.
Quantum salad, because people like a lot of word salad, like quantum salad. That's what we should call it, like quantum salad.
Quantum salad, exactly. Quantum salad infusion.
Yes, there you go. See, quantum salad. That's all it is. People just like to put a lot of word salad and shit out there.
I'm highly experienced in detangling quantum bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's a lifelong profession. You know what I mean? That's like quantum debunking is my specialty.
There you go.
But no, yeah. So it's like, look, I mean, it's the same old song and dance, and the rule is basically this: is that 90% of your bullshit has to be everything that's been said before, so that you're not challenging people too much. But 10% new stuff, so they feel like they're making some sort of progress, and the story's changing, and you're bringing something new to the table. That's the golden rule. If you can do 90% of what the guy before you said and 10% some new shit, you're golden in this business. You're golden. You're going to be at conferences until you realize there's no money in conferences and you're smoking meth in a double wide out in Pahrump.
Yeah. Hey, Star Trek would have been Star Trek at the first episode, the first place planet they went to, if they just kept going back to that same planet, right? You got to keep expanding the story. You got to keep, space, the final frontier. You got to keep going. You got to find new planets to talk about, and new aliens to write new stories about. And listen, if these guys went to Hollywood and made they wouldn't even make B movies. They'd be like D movies or something. It'd be
they'd be like, this
actors.
is like, we're talking grade C movies. We're talking straight to Netflix.
No, I don't even think Netflix would take it. I think it'd be like
Netflix
straight to like,
walk away,
they'd
right?
be YouTube series. Like, it wouldn't even be YouTube Red series. They'd be like free series on YouTube, but
It's like this shit wouldn't sell on Crackle.
You could put on MySpace, maybe.
Pornhub rejected it.
Yeah.
Yes, YouPorn is like, nah, try again. Seriously, no, there's some stuff out here that like the Corey Good narrative. Like, what offends me the most, honestly, is that if the Corey Good stuff worked as narrative fiction, I would say, look, it's narrative fiction, and maybe there's some metaphor, some metaphysics in there that you could see. But it's just so stupid. The stories are stupid. You know what I mean? It's like Megaforce level of stupidity. These adventure stories that he's telling. You know what I mean?
Every movie. It's a hodgepodge of bad science fiction, is what it is. It's just put together poorly. It's not really thought out well. It was just, let me just try to sell. But what makes it even funnier is that people actually buy it, like they do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the flat Earth. I think, what I think it really is with Corey Good, especially at this point, is that if you go and you approach Corey Good and you tell Corey Good that you believe Corey Good is going to give you what you need. He's going to take a photo with you. He's going to put his hand around your shoulder. He's going to tell you that you're part of the good fight. He's going to tell you that you're doing good stuff. He's going to sell you shit. Yeah. And if you buy the T-shirt and buy the graphic novel and buy the mug, he's going to be your best friend for about 30, 45 seconds.
Yep.
And a lot of these people, it's the same thing with the flat Earth. No one believes this fucking flat Earth bullshit. No one thinks that they've got that shit figured out. They know that they found a little smaller community, smaller than the community at home, a new place to go, to meet new friends, to hang out, to bullshit with people, and maybe there's going to be a conference, and we'll all go there and play grab ass, and one or two people are going to get laid.
They got a movement.
That's what it's about.
They're doing conferences and stuff. It's all about money, CW. That's what the bottom line is. If you find that niche, if you find something, especially if you put it out there and you float it on, social media and the internet, and all of a sudden you get 10 followers, they get 20, then they want to get monetized, then they want to, actually see, people are actually buying this bullshit. I guess it's the same thing with Blue Aliens.
They prey on people's beliefs and gullibility and everything else like that. They're con men, they're grifters, they're snake oil salesmen and stuff like that. They know that most of them know that they're peddling bullshit. And that's
don't
what
besmirch the good name of snake oil salesman,
But the funny thing about it is, I don't. You're more the twin flame stalker, and I get that. That's what you do. But with me, even on the outskirts, watching what they say and they do, it's funny how they kind of take shots at you and Joe from the Carolina and Dark Journalist and different people, but they don't, especially Kelly, explaining esoterica and stuff. They take shots at people, but they don't really address anything. And that's the fun. You're these super, you're so scared of this dark alliance, cabal, government, whatever agents who are trying to kill you, and you motherfuckers get colds and everything and stuff. So you can stand up to them. And then I heard someone speaking recently, who I'm still on the fence about, who's talking about that Corey Good is a violent guy and he'll fight and do all this type of stuff and everything. But I don't see any fight in them, even verbally. Even fucking Trump, for all his fucking whatever you want to say about him, hey, at least he's on fucking Twitter saying his dumb shit every day, defending himself whatever way he knows how. These clowns aren't even up to his standard. They don't even take a stand to say something. Let me come back with you with something. Here's some evidence. I'll give Jordan fucking... hold on. I'll give Jordan Liar a little bit of credit, because at least he does try to come back with what he thinks is evidence, whatever, of Q Anus and all his fucking stories in this. At least he tries. But these other dudes don't even fucking, they're like boxers who are just sitting there in the corner, like, just come over here and I'm just going to sit in this fucking stool and you just whoop my ass and the fight's over. Or they go stand there while the fight's happening around them and they're getting their ass whooped, but for some reason their body won't respond, so they just stand there and taking punches.
No, I've seen, and their way of defending themselves and stuff is saying, oh, we've been attacked by the cabal and they've launched these attacks and these LARPers and these other people and stuff.
That's not a real defense. That's
exactly, but that's what I'm saying. That's what they think is that they're defending themselves. They're like, we're not even gonna, trying to be like, oh, we can't even be bought. We know that these guys are insiders for the secret cabal, and they're here, they're disinfo agents and stuff, and they're just plants and shills and fucking all this other stuff, and that's what they say, and that's why. Corey Good, his Fear Being Alliance channel, put up that thing of fucking the dude saying, oh, I vetted him for fucking 17 hours. I questioned him and everything the other day. He posted up a thing trying to fucking, defend himself and saying, oh, yeah, we know he's the truth and stuff. Look, the head of Gaia says he questioned me for like fucking all these, it was like 15 hours or 17 hours or some bullshit.
Right. They were smoking weed, watching movies and shit. They were probably with a bunch of fucking cheap hookers or some bullshit fucking 17 hours. Yeah, I interrogated them all right. Yeah, yeah.
And I listened to him, and I knew what he was saying was true. Oh, yeah, I could fucking talk for 17 hours, and you're probably going to think what I'm saying is true at the end of it, too.
I had a secret room under my stairs. When it opened up, I took him in there and gave him a lie detector test, and after that, I waterboarded him, and he was going to tell me the truth one way or the other because you know who I am, too. I'm also...
Oh, exactly. Well, listen. Look, I mean... Jay Widener recently came out with a video, talking to Groovy Bean. I think you guys, referenced him, and it's like, look, I mean, it's true. It's Jay Widener is a Jay Widener size problem. Jay Widener was part and parcel of the promotion of Corey Good, just like Jimmy Church. And Jay Widener, seeing things the way that they are now, is coming out and saying, contrary things to what he said before and trying to, and I think that he's authentic when he says that he now recognizes Corey Good as a threat to the community that needs to be addressed. His past behavior is his past behavior, and that's not for me to judge. That's him to answer for and him to explain as best he can. All I can say is this: look, this whole world is the blind leading the stupid in a lot of senses, because you have to realize that Corey Good was brought to the world by David Wilcock. Now we already have a problem because we have a world in people were willing to listen to David fucking Wilcock. Even the every single fucking source that David Wilcock has ever come up with is fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. You get this guy Drake Bailey. That even David Icke, David Icke in his book The Perception Deception has like literally paragraphs dedicated to smashing the shit out of David Wilcock and Drake Bailey, who was David Wilcock's #1 source for years. And then also, he's the guy that David Wilcock is also the guy that took some sugar and support from Benjamin Fulford, who's like a full-on schizophrenic. You know what I mean? The guy is just is like out to lunch, to say the least. And then you also had David Wilcock for a long time was Pete Peterson, another guy who just made up some crazy stories, and nobody's vetting these people.
Nope.
Nobody's vetting these people. Nobody's vetting.
And who's
people.
vetting the vetters? That's the thing. It's like, who the fuck is vetting the vetters?
Listen, look.
And what did the vetting somebody is asking them questions and they give you answers that you agree with?
Yeah.
That's vetting somebody? Oh, you show them papers that, okay, I was in the military, but those papers don't say that you weren't a potato peeler. They don't say you didn't drive the water truck or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, okay, they just say you were in the military and everything, and you might have been stationed in Iraq or whatever here and there, but they don't go into detail or anything like that. Show us the papers to show, oh, I was stationed in Antarctica and I was fucking a medical examiner and fucking I examined fucking 3,000 bodies.
Anything.
And here's some fucking tissue that I was able to get out of there. You guys want to do a DNA test on this alien tissue? Because that's my proof. But no, they come out and like, yeah, I just have my word of mouth and
my insiders.
And you're gonna believe me.
And why aren't I being taken out? I'm being taken out because some people want me to tell the story, and the other people that don't want. It goes back and forth. It's like they're an enemy of the state, but no, the state is supporting them, and they can't be taken out because of this, and then they will be taken out, but their lives are being threatened because of the other thing. It's the most ridiculous, and you shake your head, you go, how the fuck can anybody believe this on payday? How the fuck are people believing this shit?
They're believing it because they want.
They don't have discernment, and they want to. They want something to believe in, and that's what these people. They know that
they
there's
need
people
Avengers
out there
Endgame
that are looking for answers, and that believe in stuff when they think they found their answers. because they don't know how to discern that this isn't the real answer. All right, we're gonna try and bring in Kelly of explaining esoterica. And see if this works.
She's deaf.
See if
She's
this
terrible.
all. We're gonna try and see if we can have you and her on at the same time. So let's see if this works.
I know what
show's gonna get
Wait,
banned.
CW, did you know what CPT is?
What, CBD or CPT?
CPT.
No, what's that?
That's color people's timing. I mentioned that earlier. We're going to be late.
I know that well.
Yeah, we're Paranormal.
Listen, I'm not Puerto Rican, so I know. Believe you me.
Oh, tu hablo español, amigo?
Un poquito.
Sí, y tú.
My little head is Spanish.
Got you. So we're going to try to bring her in too, because she's definitely a big part of the conversation. But while we're waiting for her, I want to say something, because I want to see this rap battle happen, dude. I'm really into this, because that's how we settled beef back in the day. Like, it wasn't you went out, you break dance, or you fucking rap. You had rap battles. So why no fisticuff?
You know what I mean? If I wasn't gonna challenge the dude to a graph battle, I'd bring him out to the
I got DJs, I got all of it.
Spit 16 bars.
Yo, let's do
you
this.
Know what I mean?
Let's make this happen, folks. If you really want to fucking support
something.
something for CW, rather than anything harsh or anything, tell Jordan say that he's challenged him to a rap battle. The dude said he can spit 16 bars. I'll support. I can get a nice fucking beat for them. We can get all that. We can get DJs. We can figure out how to make it happen. I don't know if we can make it happen at Contact in the Desert or something. Shit,
we got drum circles. We can make it happen.
Yo, beatboxing, whatever. This can happen. That's how you settle beef back in the day. All these folks who hit me up who claim they're hood or they understand the hood, or they into hip hop, whatever. Let's prove this shit. I'll battle Jimmy. I wonder if Jimmy Church would battle me in a rap battle. I have no beef with that dude. He just doesn't seem to really want to have anything to do with us, which I kind of understand, because we're a little bit more rough in the edges than what they all do.
Oh, don't get me started on Jimmy Church.
Miss Farmer is busy at the moment. We'll have to give her a call. Try back in a few minutes. I didn't think she was. I just saw her in the chat, but maybe she stepped away to get a drink or something.
No, she's not. She's being fashionable.
I know we got to try to get Steve in here soon.
She's trying to be fashionably late.
Playing the game. I'm gonna debunk Kelly Farmer right here live.
Steve, if Steve Cambier is still in the chat, I wonder if he's still around. Let me know, because I know we're fucking, like I said, CPT. I had to explain it. People don't know. Dude, I want to see the rap battle, though. We're gonna make that shit happen. Like, that can happen. That's how you handle beef. That's real beef. Paranormal Hood, like I said, I'll get the beats. We can do all that type of shit. I can get a DJ if you need. I can get a custom song made just for him, a custom beat, whatever he needs. Tell him just hit me up. Okay, I've met the dude before. But okay, I want to see rap beef. That's old school. That's how you kick it old school. We old enough to understand. All you youngins understand. That's how you handle beef.
Absolutely.
Then you need
let's do a rap battle on the Skype beat.
On the Skype beat.
Yeah, that's what you guys got to rap battle on.
It's been, you know what? Actually, the rapping over the Skype beat has been done.
Oh,
everyone thinks they're a genius because they get high and they listen to Skype beat and they think that this is great.
It is fucking great. That Skype beat is dope as shit. I heard that shit. Listen, that's how you used to make old break beats and stuff. That's where they stole all that music from that they took from like James Brown, the Meters, and everybody back in the day. When we used to make rap music, you had 2 turntables, beat machines, and everything, but you would take the beats from old music. So they had all these things called breakbeat records. And on them, you'd find mixtures of all this stuff, and it would all be instrumental. So you would just take it, it would have just the hook, and that's how you would mix rap songs. So that's how most rap songs were made back then. Like, especially if you know, not you, but folks who don't know about hip hop, that's how they created so many songs. That's why they were jacking a lot of old music. Plus, the music you listened to growing up, you just figured out how to mix that shit on turntables.
Right.
And make fucking beats, and you made rap music, and then you just spit some fucking bars, son. You had to hit motherfuckers with fire.
Give us 1 second.
I've opened up for Public Enemy. That's right. 1980. Shit, how old was I? 88 maybe? I'm trying to think what I was driving. If I was driving the red one. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They don't know. They don't know about Jiggy. They don't know about MC Dose. That was my rap name. I'm from the South End of Boston, Devastator of the South End. See? Another acronym.
All right.
Folks don't know. They don't know who I be. All right, do we have her in here with us?
We can hear her.
We can hear you.
We can hear you. We're working on trying to get you in here so folks can see you. We're trying to, we're trying new things here, folks. So bear with us as we've grown. Because folks who don't, and you got to say her name. Listen, you can never ever call her Kelly Farm. Hold on, I got to see if I can say it. Kelly Farmer. Again, it's Kelly Farmer, kid. All right, you said you've done some time in Boston, not in prison either. I'm not saying he did hard time, but he's been here. He's discussed that openly, so he should understand the accent. It's Kelly Farmer, kid, and it sounds so much cooler when you say Farmer. Don't be like everybody else.
We're still trying to figure out why no one could just call her Kelly, and no one certainly could call her Explaining Esoterica. It's always Kelly Farmer. They always have the full name.
You
She's the substitute
whatever the
teacher.
the brand has figured it out. It's going to be Kelly Farmer. We need to get a shirt. It's like Farmer. She's going to tell people it's Farmer, kid. Okay.
Shit,
Kelly, do you have your video on?
My video should be on.
It should be on.
Can you do me a favor and just click it on and click it back, like off, then back on?
Okay. Let me check.
Thank you.
We're working on the problem.
47 people watching now, gentlemen. You guys are doing good. You're doing good numbers here.
Yeah, thanks to you. Thanks to everybody. I saw Joe from the Carolinas in here. Shout out to him. I
saw that. Yeah.
That's awesome. I do
comes
talk
out,
about
so
him.
that's
I
good.
do.
He never comes out of my fucking live chat. What the fuck's up with that?
Hey, I thank him.
He's toxic. He's like, fuck. CW's gonna burn the house down one of these days again. I'm not gonna be involved.
Dude, listen. That's what I'm saying. Somebody's gonna take the time to cut up your words and some shit and put them together. You sound so menacing to people who don't actually listen to you. That's what's so funny. You could chop up anybody's words and make them sound the way, but if they actually listen to you and let it play it out, they'd understand who you are and what you're talking about.
Right.
I'm just not. My aggression, like I said, I don't have any aggression towards these people. I don't feel frauded by them. I've paid my money. I watch their stuff. It's just like if I go to see a movie. If we sat here and did a fucking critique of movies and we were just critics, we were Siskel and Ebert, every week and stuff. And well, we saw Endgame. Let's talk about Endgame. We're allowed to critique it. So we spend our money. We spend our time. They put this stuff out there. It's the same thing like religion, anything else. You put this stuff out there, you just want people who it's like they're still fighting the fucking crusades to this day. They just want people like, okay, I buy it. It all sounds great, and let's go along. And that the world doesn't work that way. And to be upset that people don't agree with you and call folks who are just they're telling you the truth about the stuff that they call the truth, and be mad and call secret. I haven't heard my name referenced any of these people. I know on some of their radars because I tend to meet their wives before I meet all of them because their wives are their biggest fucking champions and shit. But I don't think we're on their radar because we haven't got called Dark Cabal or Dark Alliance or anything yet. But like to think that folks who are just having a little bit of pushback, they're part of the secret cabal. They're psyops, they're LARPers, whatever you want to call it, or they're whatever fucking words you want to use that make you feel better at night about folks who just don't agree with you and are questioning your stuff, and that the reason the pushback is a little bit more aggressive from some other folks is because of what you're putting out there, and you want everybody to buy it. I pay my money. I'm not disruptive. I spoke at Conscious Life
I got
Expo.
questions. I want answers.
For the 30 people who were in the room who came to see Jiggy, they got some real fucking talk. I talked about shit I haven't ever talked about before to these people and stuff like that. That was it. You know what I'm saying? That was what I did there. I go there, I meet some cool people. I met Kelly Farmer. I've met Natasha from Mysterious Forces. I've met different people, and that's what made it so I like to go to these things. I just don't agree with all the people.
CW, are you speaking at Contact in the Desert? You gonna be up there on stage? Come on.
They let me speak.
I wonder,
I'm just gonna try and survive. I'm just trying to hang out.
It's pay to play though. Let's get a GoFundMe going. Let's pay to play. Let's get CW up on stage.
That's the way to go. Like to see if they would let you pay to play at one of these conferences, and they would maybe just say like, you don't have to swear, you don't have to be profane or anything, or just have a room where you could just have your room where people who want to hear what you have to say come. But I don't get why. I get why they wouldn't want people arguing and getting on stage, but they've had Stanton Freeman be able to freely talk to some of these people. They've had Dolan. They've had different people who will get up there and have some pushback. So I'm saying if it's not aggressive, why wouldn't they want to be able to sit down and have a conversation with you? That's the point I said. I said there's no punchback at all. Like these dudes talk hip hop, some of them. They talk real cool. They talk real slick and everything. They got security and stuff. Emery Smith rolls around with security. Like he's more secure than some fucking people who rule countries and shit, and he's rolling around at these events. Why wouldn't he be able to sit down with you and have a conversation? Why wouldn't any of them be able to talk to you if you just simply said, listen, I'm not going to be the CW you see on YouTube. The same way you see us, when we do terrestrial radio and stuff, which we have done, few and far between, we know that there's parameters. But why wouldn't these people be, sorry folks, there's some shit going on with the multiple Skype, he's working on it. But why wouldn't they just say, okay, you know what, fuck it. Let me just be able to just go, I'm going to be a man about it today. I'm going to stand up and say something. They don't do that. They're fucking scared. I don't get it. Come on.
I get it. Listen, it would be a very big threat to their lucrative bottom line if they were to talk to me, because they know exactly what would happen. Even it's not about me cursing. It's not about me being aggressive. Emery Smith, he's gonna say some of this ridiculous, stupid, dumbass bullshit, and I'm gonna ask him 2 or 3 very pertinent, very simple pushback questions like, you mean, hold on, there's a company that you gave a secret transdimensional controlling technology to, but you can't name them, but you trust them with this technology.
But he's also broke.
You know, or
He-
here's the Henry Smith
Does everybody hear
telling
all that?
us that you were to do autopsy
It's his connection.
for this secret transdimensional governmental agency. But then you tell us that you were presented with tissue samples. Tissue samples are not what's autopsied. Tissue samples are the product of an autopsy.
Exactly.
Why on earth would they need you to double autopsy what's clearly already been autopsied by someone who's got higher security clearance?
He
than
says he
you?
teaches people about how to use medical instruments and things like that.
Wait, but
I want to just go there and I just want to hold up like random medical instruments and be like, "Can you tell me what this is?" and see if he can name what that
Scalpel.
instrument is.
It's a scalpel. They're all scalpels. But this dude's but wasn't he part of NASA too? Isn't he an astronaut? Isn't he one of the Isn't he an astronaut? Wasn't he part of NASA too with 3 PhDs? I don't know.
At CW, your internet connection or something is. I think the secret, the cabal is trying to take
the
out.
original person's gonna come out
There
flip
we go.
sides and be like, "Yo, Emery Smith, this, that, the other thing." I'm like, "Girl, you talked to Emery Smith."
I did talk to Emery Smith. I could tell you the whole Emery Smith story.
Why didn't you tell Emery Smith the whole Emery Smith story? Like, Emery Smith, you're a fucking liar. Why are you telling this bullshit stories to people?
Kelly, when you were in the room interviewing him, like the security was there, but did they search you? Did they sweep the room for bugs? Did they fucking do anything? Did they look out the window to see if there were snipers? They weren't looking for anything?
No.
And she asked them real nice. She's like, "You sure you don't want to search me?" They were like, "No, we're good." She's like, "Are you sure?"
You know what? You want to hear the worst part about it, Jiggy? Is I had a room that had a sliding glass door out onto a patio where anybody could have access to. And they didn't even look.
My God. See, Kelly, I wish that I was like I knew this beforehand, because then I could have been there as your security, and then I would have searched them, because I know how to search people properly, because I'm known for that. That's what we did in fucking security and stuff. You search people. I found all kinds of I found guns, knives, on all kinds of crazy drugs. But I could have been there like, "I'm sorry, but I have to search you guys coming in first." Because I saw them. Like, literally, the irony of it, I was there with my friend. Now, he's white, and we were in the same, literally standing next to each other, and his security, like, was kind of, like, mean-mugged him and looked at him all crazy, and was like, "Hey, what's up to me? You know, how you doing? Hey," blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, what the fuck did he do? Like, he's just good. You don't know me. I could be if you're so concerned about fucking anybody fucking about to take you out, I guess you would want to be my friend first. Maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they were trying to lull me into a sense of coolness, like being cool to me. Maybe I didn't realize that they were working me. Damn it! I don't know why he keeps. What'd you say, CW? Your connection, CW, your connection. I don't know if you guys are like both. I think they're both breaking up.
No, she's not, because we can see her.
Okay. What'd you say, Kelly?
I can still see W
I can't hear them both.
They stayed in the doorway.
I can't. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know how everybody else is hearing you, but we hear you both NCW like you can. Like we hear you both. We don't hear you very well. I don't know how, if everybody in the chat can hear.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, because our internet and everything is good. So
it's the secret cabal. They're coming after us. We're talking about them, so they're using their powers. Hey, what we're gonna do, folks? We're gonna give us a minute. We're gonna try to bring you. We're gonna try to figure this out. We're gonna cut you both off and then try to bring you in, bring our other guest in too. Because we got one more guest with us, and we'll figure this out. Just give us a minute, please. Sorry, folks. I don't know how everybody else here. We can't. The connection with this. We can't hear you. You sound like a robot to us.
Great work over here. You can't hear me for shit.
I can't hear him.
I can't hear you, CW. We love you guys.
Come in the chat for a minute. We'll try to bring you back. Yeah, go in the chat for a minute. Let's try to talk.
Go in the chat.
Go in the chat for a minute, please. We'll try to get you guys back on. It's Paranormal Hood, man. This is what happens in the hood, man. Sometimes these motherfuckers don't like you talking the shit we talking.
God damn you, Corey Good. He's trying to take it. He's trying to stop us.
David Wilcox, all of them. They're mad.
They're going to shut down YouTube.
No, it's Jordan Sather. He probably hit up QAnon and was like, yo, write something about those guys. The hood's waking up, son. We can't let the hood wake up. If the hood wakes up, what will happen? They might riot. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that. Sorry, folks. For a while there was gone. It's just, let's see. Emery was a security for Stephen Greer. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess. He has his own security now.
Before he was, that's like how we got into it. Yeah, we got some stuff on some Stephen Greer's and some other people and everything. We just waiting. We digging in some a little bit more stuff on that.
Deep undercover. Deep undercover. You heard me? Listen, again, this is it's nothing personal. This is just observations.
We just trying to get to the bottom of. We just want the truth. We're just trying to get out there with the truth.
We've talked about it all. And at the beginning, some of it sounded good. We just keep deeper and deeper and deeper.
Do we want to bring in the next guest?
Can we? Yeah, if we can.
We'll bring up the next guest, and then we'll see if we can get everybody maybe back in.
Yeah, we're going to try to,
Okay.
UFO Gandalf, PC Brother James Harrison, Jet Petty, Steve Cambion. Let's see, we're going to try to, we're trying to get you in for a few minutes here, too.
Right now.
Yeah, we're riding out, folks. Normally, we'd be spoken the last one, but because it's the anniversary of the 6-year show. And these guys, again, if you don't know who these folks are, you should go look them up. There's a lot of folks who are talking about exactly what we're talking about here, and it's bringing a lot of stuff to light. And these folks find stuff about these people, doc, ski, different things. Like I said, I've learned a ton of words, a ton of new stuff about people. And I'm just finding like-minded people. That was the whole part of Paranormal Hood. The first connection was like-minded people who were into all the stuff we're into. Well, now these folks are into what we're into. This is why they're part of the show. They've been guests. Some of them will be future guests. But
these, a lot of people like to throw the word truth or I'm a truther around here. These are the people that are putting out real truth.
Real truth.
Getting to the bottom. They didn't stop when they found some fluff on top. It was like, oh, I believe in this stuff.
Yay!
Let me just stop here, and I'm not going to look anymore. I'm not going to question anything else. I'm just going to stop here. No, they're like, wait a second, hold on, something still doesn't seem right. Let me search a little bit more. Let me keep on searching, and we just keep on searching. And let's see.
You know what happens? You wake the fuck up.
We get some music again?
What do you say? Uh-oh, here goes the Skype music. Uh-oh. Damn, he answered on the first ring. You know
there we go.
You know what they say when people answer the first ring?
Yeah, I've been standing by waiting for you guys.
I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, I was explaining CPT.
I'm glad to be here.
You know what CPT is, Steve?
Yeah, colored people time. I grew up in the hood of Philadelphia. I know.
Oh, okay. Listen, I've lived.
That's kind of like junkie time too, though. You know, like when your junkie friend says, "I'll stop by at 4:00," and he shows up at 11:30 at night.
That's not for the dealer. It's not the junkie time though, because junkies always gonna show up on time to get their shit though. So the dealer gets them on time.
That's dealer time.
Then everybody else has to wait. What's good, Steve? Listen, first and foremost, thank you, because I know you don't normally do videos. I don't know. Is this like a coming out party for you? How much video have you ever done?
No, here's the thing. Like everybody's been asking me this. I started my show as audio only because I have a background in like running a recording studio for music. And I just thought I was much more comfortable with audio. I've done videos before, but not really, So I'm kind of going to move and make that transition real soon.
Cool. I just feel good. I feel like, it's kind of like, boom. He's like, lets people kind of get see him before, a little bit before he kind of even does it himself.
Yeah,
so thank you.
A lot of people are going to be like, well, that's the face to that voice that I keep hearing. Yeah, so that's cool.
When I first started
I want to congratulate you guys on 6 years of doing this. I can't imagine. That is awesome.
Yeah, dude, when I first started Paranormal Hood, anything on like just putting like face stuff out there, I wore a mask and stuff. Like it was just hard. Again, I was kind of still new to the community and how they'd be receptive of this stuff. And then at some point, we did audio too for years. And then people just said, we want to see you guys. And for some reason, they like watching us smoke weed. And sometimes we have really cool guests in the studio and stuff too. So it's kind of just what I guess people want. And because there's no hiding, there's no reason for hide. Like I said, I go to all these events and stuff. Like you can't miss me. You know, especially at most of these events, I kind of stand out. Especially the paranormal field. Like for years, it was like, okay, that's Jiggy. Like, hey, Jiggy, hi, Jiggy. I was like, I can't even remember all the people I met, but for some reason, they kind of all remember the black dude who kind of just didn't blend in. So I have that luxury. But you know, it's just like if you want to see us at this point. There's nothing to hide. There's, you know, we stand behind what we talk about and stuff. But as we've expanded again, as we've talked about a bit earlier with CW, a little bit, sorry, with Kelly too, we didn't, and is that expanding into this kind of subculture that's kind of created itself in this paranormal field, in the ascension, as I like to call it, because there's no, I get ascension, like you want to ascend to something beautiful and higher. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe ascend to heaven, whatever. But the whole fucking selling of this shit, I call it more ascension, like ascension. Like I know how to spell the word, but that's what it seems like to me. But this whole stuff, and then these people who are all pushing the same shit. And we live by the 70-30 rule here. Like, you know, at this point, with all these years of research and starting out, looking at this stuff, like, you know, it's not even fans. So, like, I'm not a fan of, I don't call myself fans of too much of stuff. You know, I'm just into things or I like stuff, you know. So I won't say that I'm fans of all the stuff in the paranormal. I was a fan of Coast to Coast because that bridged the gap for me at first.
No, like Coast to Coast. Some of the stuff like I was into. David Wilcox, I cut him out real quick and stuff, you know. But you know, of course, when I was younger, you know, the stitch into some of these things at first, you know, this is good. It's fancy. It sounds good. It sounds plausible at first, and then you
this explains everything. Just $9.95, and I buy the book, and I get all the answers. It's convenient.
It's nice, but as you start to go and you start to dig into these people, and you find out about these people, and a lot of the stuff that you do, I love the stuff, your show and everything that you're doing there, and the information that you find. It's what I say. You follow the money with a lot of these people.
Absolutely.
And then you got to be like, wait a minute, where did some of that money go?
Yeah, it disappears. That's the funny part.
Money, where did it go?
And you know, I'm getting a lot of. I think I've been kind of off of some of those people's radar, and now I'm getting on it because I'm starting to get a lot of pushback. But you know, one thing I've noticed, it's all nameless, faceless. Anybody who's critical of my work, it's a nameless, faceless, relatively new internet or Twitter account. There's nobody with a name and a face that's going to come and say your research is wrong, because I do my due diligence. I make sure that before I report on something, I know that I've looked into this every which way that I possibly can. I'm not going to irresponsibly report something. So now you get that pushback from sock puppet accounts. That's all you could say. They're just
Jordan say that he made a comment. He's like, no, that's bullshit. Get your facts straight, you little girl, or something like that. I'm like, I got my facts straight. My facts are plenty straight over
and I told him, if you want to fucking start name calling like kids, well, the way that you guys go out there and sell these science fiction and comic books and sci-fi movie shit, like that's what little boys do. You know, then you're little boys. If we're little girls, then you're little boys. Like, you know, you're out there selling people fucking shit that we all saw in the same movies. Avengers Endgame and shit like that. I bet you, like, they're like, next thing will be, did you see Endgame? See, it's really all about what we're doing. It's about, you know, QAnon and the Alliance and how the Alliance is fighting back, and that the Endgame really is going to be us ascension to, you know, whatever. I haven't even seen Endgame yet, but I've read enough Marvel to kind of know shit. But us ascending to another dimension, and then the real you coming or some shit or whatever. Like, okay, guys, whatever. Yeah, we've heard it all. We've heard it all before. We've heard it for years.
I heard CW touch on this earlier, and I think that the biggest problem is that everybody that is interested in these subjects, there's such a hunger for information that they're willing to accept. There's so few real good, incredible cases with evidence and documents and, you know, evidentiary support and supporting witnesses, that people are just willing to accept the bullshit because there's such a hunger for this information. And so what happens is all these frauds, fakes, charlatans, and con men, they come in there to fill that void, trying to make some money. What a lot of people don't realize is there's not really that much money in this. They're all broke. I can tell you that from as much as I've looked into most of them. Even the so-called big names, they're all broke. They're always hawking some bullshit, mugs, and, you know. I mean, it's okay to make money. It's okay if you write a good, credible book. Here, come to my webinar for $350. You know, You know,
they want to be superheroes, and the problem is that everybody, especially if you were into comic books or you're into any of that stuff, everybody wanted to grow up and be a superhero, and that's fine. But we are superheroes. But the problem is the shit that they're selling. It kind of takes away the humanity and what we're capable of doing. And then again, you have to wait for something that's like a religion now, that's some alien, that's some secret thing, and that these dudes have lived these incredible science fiction lives and shit and have been able to do the incredible things, but have not one lick of evidence. There's none. They can't even back up their stories. Yeah, so you have a DD-214. That's great. So you served in the military. But you don't have anything from all these years, you said, especially someone like, say, Corey Good, 20 and back, 20 and back, 20 and back. So you spent 60 years in whatever super secret space farce you were supposedly in, but there's not one lick of evidence. There's nothing.
Where's your pension checks?
Nothing.
Well, yeah,
you're broke. You got 60 years of pension.
What I always think about Corey Good is actually he's very hard to bust because he's completely constructed his story so that it cannot be proven or disproven. Period. Like, okay, I went away to space for 20 years. Okay, let's talk to your family and your friends and your neighbors. Maybe they'll remember that you went away to space. Well, you can't because I time traveled and was age regressed. Yeah. So a few minutes right before I left, and nobody knew I was gone. Yep. I mean, that's just crazy.
That's when you got to start asking the questions and stuff. But most people, like, they don't know how to discern that, wait a second, this guy's pulling my chain right here. Hold on a second.
I think the biggest evidence against him is that most of his story was in a book called The Mars Chronicles. It was a free ebook that was on the internet several years before he came out with these stories. And if you read that book, it's most of Corey Good's testimony from Cosmic Disclosure is in that book, down to the alien races, down to like where places visited, 20 and back, all of that is in that book.
Exactly.
It's all in the book that he pilfered from somebody that put it out for free. Now, I looked into that guy who put it out for free, and all I can say about that guy is that he didn't try to profit. He thought he was having these strange experiences, got hypnotically regressed, wrote a book, put it on the internet for free. These were my experiences. I want to share these experiences. There's nothing wrong with that. He put it out for free. But Corey Good went and tried to become a millionaire. And now I think that the whole thing with Corey Good is that it's all unraveling. Like, he's getting hit from all different angles. His previous producers coming out and saying that he made up most of the story. He told Emery Smith. Him and Wilcock told Emery Smith, we just made up those last 2 seasons. He's got the Dockscape thing. And everybody keeps on saying, like, I heard somebody say on Twitter today, oh, that's his death blow, that video. I don't think so. Nope. This guy survived SSP Gate. He survived Dockscape. He's going to keep on going. He can't go back to a real job, folks.
Yeah.
He's got to try and keep going somehow, somewhere.
There's no turning back. What would he gain right now to be like, you know what? Fuck it. All right. You know what? Turn the cameras on, Elizabeth. That's it. I lied about everything. I made it all up. Any of them. They're not going to do that. They can't. Won't.
He'll be fucking broken homeless, and he'll be a homeless guy standing there with a sign like ex-Secret Space Force agent.
The world
need help.
The world is near.
The end is near. End game is near. Yeah. Please help.
The rest are about to happen.
Well, the sad truth of that guy's existence, and I've said this a few times, is that it's got to be hell for this guy, because every day he wakes up and there's no escaping this. Like, he's got to lie all day long just to get through the day.
Well, he takes a hike.
Be a terrible, terrible existence.
He takes a hike. He takes a long hike. He takes a long hike and he thinks about what he's going to say. He's got plenty of time to let it marinate. He lets it sink in there, and then he goes and spits it out. Like, that's what, think about preachers. You ever see preachers back in the day, especially in the hood?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, this week I was sitting on the toilet. I know this sounds like a crazy thing. And God said to me, son, while you're shitting, you need to be getting hitting with what I'm about to tell you some knowledge. They gotta make up some shit. So I don't even think that these dudes really their lives aren't even really that bad of an existence as far as they're concerned. They're living the dream.
There's got to be some mental, some mental disorders do not include the guilt. They don't have the ability to feel guilt for the people that they're robbing and stealing from. They just don't care, And he's got a lot of those personality traits that you would ascribe to somebody that's got a severe mental disorder, like a he's got like a persecution complex for sure.
Listen,
he's got delusions of grandeur for sure. He's the hero of this story.
But that's it for me. See, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to try to diagnose anybody. I'm just saying I don't want to diagnose them. My look at it more is that he is somebody who had a script in his head that he's been working on for a long time, and he finally found a bunch of fucking buyers. And that's all it is. And that with those buyers, he gets to be the hero of the story. Anybody, if you have, I write scripts. I have scripts that are fucking registered with a Screen Actors Guild East or whatever the fuck it's called that I've written. I've written a ton of scripts. That's people do that and you put it out. So that's basically what they're doing. They're living their dream. It's the same thing. I know all these people. I've been involved in this community. They all know me. I could have made up some crazy, fantastic stories. I chose to do it the right way. I chose to actually write the scripts and actually file them where they need to be. And if someone looks at it one day and says, hey, this is a cool fucking script, let me make a movie, someone go hit Jiggy up to see what he can tell me about what he wrote in this script. Or maybe somebody's jacked it already. I don't fucking know. I haven't seen every movie. But there's a right way to do it. But that's what I think. I don't even think sometimes it's mental illness. I think some of these people are calculated and they saw what was happening. They saw a growing trend, just like preachers, just like with religion. That's how religion grew, because people said, fuck it. If you can't beat them, join them. That's pretty much what happened. The Crusades are still being fought to this day. They've never stopped fighting them. They're still fighting them. And that's what it has been. That is what the conquerors do. You can't beat me. You either join me or I'm going to kill you. Or I'm going to make your life fucking hell. So these people, that's what I think with these guys, that they just have it in their heads that, oh man, like there's this growing thing going on. I've been in sci-fi all my life. Let me start to see what I could throw out there and some of these people will pick up. And then you have companies who are looking for scripts. That's what Gaia, unfortunately, has become, I guess, or is, because I don't watch Gaia, but from everything that I've researched and understand and what has been said by folks like yourself and everything, a lot of these companies are looking for scripts. They are entertainment. If you
the biggest example of Gaia not doing any research is what I found with Pete Peterson. Here's a guy they put on their network. It's a multi-million-dollar network, and they put him out there as a secret government insider. And then we come to find out that everything in the guy's bio, every line, I went through it line by line, every line in the guy's bio was completely and totally a fabrication. He wasn't a computer early history pioneer. He wasn't he didn't do any, he didn't work for the Russian equivalent of NASA. All these lines that were in this guy's bio, these grandiose claims, they didn't even check, or they did check and they just didn't care. Those are the only two possibilities.
That video was great. I love that video. That's one of
they're buying scripts.
Like I said, that's where you follow the money. Listen to look at where they're coming from. Okay, this guy worked where? Okay, let's check that stuff. Nobody, either like you say, they're checking it and they don't care, or they're just not checking it. They're just believing it when they're vetting these people for 17 hours
in a room.
Really questioning them, really putting them under the pressure.
I'm going to say this, and this is just my personal opinion. I think the guy's name was Jay Weidman or Weiser, whatever.
Jay Weidner.
Yeah, that he's kind of trying to save his own ass too, because he basically said it himself. He was a scriptwriter. He was a movie producer. He produced television and stuff. People are looking to History Channel and Ancient Aliens and shit, thinking that's real fucking shit, that's real history. They're looking at Gaia as Gaia's putting out something that's supposed to be real stuff. This is entertainment. They are trying to be Hollywood big shots. That's what they do. They make entertainment.
David Wilcox, in his little apology speech or whatever, a little letter after his resignation thing, when he's like, oh yeah, it's apologize and everything, he said it clearly in that speech, little fucking letter, four different times. I was a content creator. I worked there for years as a he specified that. He made sure he said it several times throughout that letter. Content creator. He didn't say I was a fact finder, I was a researcher, I was an investigator. He said I was a content creator. I created content for that program for years. That right there is a right. And people are like, oh, David, we're so sorry all this happened. But no, wait a second. You still believe him? He just said it right there. He just told you right to your face. Using all the stuff that they say the cabal uses. They use as trickery and they put it right in front of your face and everything. He's doing the same shit right there to everybody in front of their face.
The takeaway that I had on doing this Pete Peterson investigation is that, like, I'm not anybody special. I'm a guy with a phone. I just picked up the phone. That's how I did everything I did. I just called the Russian embassy, found out, no, he didn't work for NASA, Russia equivalent of NASA. I called and verified his military service to the extent that I could. I just called computer museums and found out that he never had a company that he was claiming. He never manufactured a computer. I just picked up the phone. It wasn't rocket science. So these guys either didn't do, and they're a multi-million-dollar company. How does a multi-million-dollar company not have a guy that could pick up the phone for a few hours and check into this guest before they push him as a secret government insider? He's not a government insider. And the GoFundMe money, that's the whole thing was a total scam. Anybody that gave them money should try to get it back.
Should try and get it back. Like I went out when I saw your video and stuff, and because I seen that GoFundMe, and I was like, "There's something up with this." And then I saw your video, I'm like, "Oh shit, somebody actually went and looked into this," because I got a pile of stuff I'm looking into all the time. I'm like, "This is great, Steve Camby, and you're awesome." And I went right to GoFundMe, and I'm like, "Fuck." I was like, you can't go and like, I'm like, how do I go and report that like this thing is closed? And I'm like, no, what the fuck? And
yeah, people
things
are
happen
looking
and
into
stuff.
that right now, and I have a feeling that there's going to be some consequences, and some people aren't going to be very happy with what I looked into or what I found.
Look at that couple in that.
I stand by everything that I put in that report, and whatever happens, you know.
GoFundMe will investigate.
Facts.
Look at that couple and that homeless guy and stuff, and look at what happened to them and everything. I mean, that was a little bit more money, but the GoFundMe doesn't mess around. They'll investigate that thing thoroughly, and they'll look into his story and be like, oh, wait a second, this story don't check out. And then that's going to be another hiccup in there, bro.
Again, but here's the thing, like, why would people even buy into that? Like adults, like people who...
Because they're preying on people's things that, oh, this poor guy, he needs help. He was victimized by the government, and they took everything that he has. Let's help him out. He has nothing. He's living in a hotel and all this stupid stuff and on people's couches, and he can't get his property back. He needs money. He needs help. So people do it. Just like when people, they get the hurricanes and stuff. Oh, these people need money. Let's give them help. He needs help. So they spin this crazy, wild story, and they're like, oh, we need money to make our next video or something, or maybe Pete needs money so he can keep fucking telling the story. So Dave's like, yeah, we'll just go on fucking GoFundMe and we'll raise you some money here, and you just keep up with your story, Pete. And that's what they did. And they whip up another story.
Sorry, folks in the chat are saying there's an echo.
Echo again. Turn that back down.
Yeah, just because it creates an echo. Sorry, folks. Sorry, Steve.
I'm good.
Yo, these folks are hilarious. Their stories, and here's the thing that I've been around celebrities and stuff, and you know when someone has the number one hit song, they have it because they made the number one hit song. With the number one hit movie, they made the number one hit movie. If these guys had any real tangible proof of anything, they would be rock stars. Even Tom DeLonge, like this dude, I don't understand. Like,
I've heard you talk about this, and I totally agree with your assessment of this. Just like Bob Lazar, just drop that element
right, just do it
right down on the table on Larry King Live.
Bang!
Like, here it is, bitches.
Bang! Everybody, you're going to make so much money. None of these guys have to worry about money anymore. You're rock stars. Everybody, you're gonna make the circuit. You're gonna be on every Oprah. Everybody's gonna want to talk to you. Every country, everybody's gonna bring you everywhere because you have something nobody else supposedly has, or supposedly our government has somewhere because they got it off of some crash UFO back, and so blah blah blah. Even his fucking video. Like if you go back and look at Bob Lazar, and I love John Lear, but John Lear's video and stuff when they're out supposedly Groom Lake, I think it is, whatever. And they see this light zoom into the sky, early drone technology. It's easily explainable. Maybe he was there. Maybe he was working on drone technology or some shit, and that's it. But to claim that it's aliens and everything, with all these years, you come back after 30 years of kind of silence and stuff, and they release this big documentary. It's always pay. These people are so interested in disclosure, and Bob Lazar I'm not making any money off everything that I'm doing, and blah, blah, blah. But Jeremy Corbyn, or whatever the fuck the dude's name is, everybody else is, but whatever, so I'm sure it trickulates to him somehow. But, 30 years, you're so interested in disclosure. There's been no real disclosure. There's been no tangible proof of anything from any of these people.
And they're all still saying the same regurgitated all this
shit.
New tech that not everybody has heard about. They read it in a little obscure little magazine that this tech is coming out and it's going to be a thing. And then next thing you know, a year later, everybody's talking about it.
Emery Smith had a hand in it, but this guy was supposedly broken. He's just now getting his life back together and found a home and everything. But you're helping all these companies with this technology you remember from your time and your service, supposedly, and dissecting aliens and alien crafts, whatever the fuck you did. You got a PhD and a GHD and run DMC, and you were in that. I guess he's an astronaut too or whatever. He's supposed to be all this stuff. But none of these people are making any money off of all this secret stuff. And yet they're so scared. Their lives are always in danger. They need security and stuff.
Yeah, that's part of the narrative. That's part of the narrative. Like the government's. I've heard David Wilcock claim that somebody was trying to kill him so many times, and it's like, okay, first of all, one of the claims.
Where's the evidence?
Somebody messed with his brakes.
Where's the evidence? Show me the evidence.
If you truly had somebody cut your brake lines and try to kill you, there'd be a police report.
Yep.
There's no police report. So what? Somebody tried to kill him and he didn't even report it to the police? Somebody cut his brake lines?
He didn't even okay, even if there's no police report, he didn't even take pictures of his cut brake lines and show anybody. Like, look, this is my brake lines. Look at the brake fluid everywhere right here. And that whole story is bullshit, because if anybody knows anything about a cut brake line, if he had a cut brake line, when he started the car and he got in it to go, his pedal would have went to the floor right then and there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, I don't think the man is that important, because he's made tens of thousands of predictions. Not one has come true.
Nope.
I don't think the government.
I think the government likes him out there, because people are buying up his bullshit and they're forgetting that there's actual fucking real fucking stuff that's going on. That if they're listening to him, they're not looking at us.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're watching Edge of Blunder and all this type of shit. But these dudes, that's the thing though. People keep saying, oh, they'll go away. They just keep seeing to find homes. And the more you kind of do research, because I'm kind of on the trail of something I gotta talk to you about. But you even find that it's like you talk about follow the money, that there's even kind of these figures who kind of play themselves as obscure figures who actually aren't obscure at all. And they play the background for a reason. And that I don't know where their money comes from yet. That's what I'm kind of looking at, because it's kind of funny that these are some of the people who are just putting up the money, but they don't want to really be known. They're kind of in the field, but they're not really big names in the field. It's kind of funny to me, but there's a little bit of that going on too, so.
Yeah, I think the money is the greatest problem. And like I said, there's just such a hunger for this information that people they want it so badly that they're willing to just forget about facts, figures, evidence. Oh, this is a good story. Yeah. And I've heard somebody say it resonates with my heart. Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. I don't really care what resonates with my heart. I want the truth. I want evidence.
I want to see it. Exactly. And they forget the number one thing. In this truth or community and everything, what's the number one rule? Question everything. Yep. And then once they find that what they think is the answer that they believe in, they stop questioning everything.
Yeah, exactly. And, I hate that a large part of what I've been doing is just busting hoaxers and fakes and frauds, because I didn't start my show to do that.
That's what us too.
I started realizing, like, I have the skills to do it, and somebody's got to do it.
Yes.
Somebody's got to be the guy to do it.
Yes.
And sorry, it's bad news if you believed in that guy, and people like you and C.W. Channer and Joe from the Carolinas are out there doing that. And I hear this term: use your discernment. We shouldn't have to. The people that are the people that are known frauds, hoaxers, and fakes, and are just out there on the take looking for money, should not be in the community. They should be gone. They should be found out, and you're done. Yep. As soon as we know that you're full of shit, and I mean full of shit definitively, like as soon as somebody has ripped apart your narrative and shown you to be doing all these unethical things to try to make money and keep on that circuit and, sell another DVD full of bullshit and lies, like, give a guy a few chances, but after that, you're done. You're gone. That's the way it should be, but it's not. It's just not the way it is.
Well, they find homes and stuff, but it's just like the drunk guy that's always spending his money and he keeps getting kicked out of a house, and then he gets into an apartment, then he's into hotel rooms, and again, he's going to be out on the street corner. He's going to say, Secret Space Force agent, need help, we'll take any donations. And that's going to be Corey Good and all these other guys. And it's eventually they're not going to have a place to go, because, yeah, they can find another backer and stuff for that. But if their backer's not making any money off of it anymore, they're going to be like, well, okay, here you go, goodbye, or you're bullshit, so whatever. And the next guy's going to be like, well, pick you up for a little while. But they're only going to be able to do it for so long.
Yeah, and I'm amazed at some of these people's ability, even after being caught in total lies and fabrications for so long, they still find an audience, they still find a home. And you're right, they find money backers, that are willing to back them and put money into them and market them.
Well, those
And
people have an agenda and stuff too, and that's what we're finding out, and I'm sure you're finding out and everything. CW chanters and stuff that
yeah,
these people are
absolutely.
putting it
CW's
in.
been great at some of
Even
that stuff.
Unirock and stuff. Some of the stuff that we're finding out is the people are backing it having a whole big huge ulterior motive and stuff. And besides business, they want to create their own little fucking thing and there's a lot of crazy shit. Yeah, it has business and stuff and tied, and then there's a lot of it where it ties into like, wait a minute, are these guys really? They must be working for the government. They're not really ex-government agents. They're actual government agents still, and they're just out there putting out disinformation to keep people off of the fucking looking off for the trail. It's breadcrumbs.
Hold on a second. Somebody said they'll beam me up, Scott, and as soon as we get rid of all the people who are full of crap, we will have nothing. So you're saying that you'd rather have a world full of this bullshit than just go to the movies. That's the whole thing. There's a place for all this. That is the thing. This just isn't the place. If you're really trying to find out,
if you're sitting there trying to say that it's truth, that's not okay. But if you're sitting there, if Corey Good made up this whole story and he fucking pitched it as a comic book or a movie or something like that, and he's like, yeah, this is it. But he's sitting there saying, no, this really happened and I did it. That's bullshit. But if he did it as a story and they said this is a sci-fi story, I want a movie, a TV show, whatever, and he did it that way, that's cool. Just like with these people channeling people and stuff. Some of that channel information, okay, it's good self-help stuff. Write it as a self-help book and say this is a self-help book. No, it's a self-help book that I channeled from fucking aliens and all this other bullshit. That's where the problem comes in, because they need something to spin to get this stuff out there and to con everybody into buying their fucking shit. This snake oil fucking salesman bullshit. They spin up a little fucking web because maybe they started out that way and their self-help book or their sci-fi story didn't fucking work and everything. So they're like, well, how am I going to get this to sell? I'll just say it was real.
Yeah, that's one of the other issues with Corey Good is I hear him talk about, I have to protect my intellectual property. If you're telling a story that's supposed to be true, that's not intellectual property. That's
but not even just that.
Fiction is protected as intellectual property. And the same thing with Linda Moulton Howe, just like copyright striked David Wilcock. You stole my information.
You stole farting one and farting two.
Wait a minute. But if let's say CNN reports a story and then Fox News takes the same story and reports on it. They can't copyright strike each other. It's supposed to be a true story. So it's not copyrightable. Fiction is copyrightable.
But not even that, Stephen. The whole thing. See, here's the thing. The catch to all this that it's supposed to be about ascension. It's supposed to be about all this positive stuff. But their thought of ascension is that they're going to go to some other 7D, 5D, whatever, be with some aliens, whatever. Here's the thing. There's no resistance on my part to that. If you motherfuckers are going to transcend or ascend or whatever, leave. Why are you worried about the people who are going to be stuck here, as David Wilcock says, they're going to be taken to some other prison planet or whatever? Why do you care? You're supposed to be about this.
You're supposed to be about
and why do you care about money? Why do you care about any of these things right now? You're supposed to be getting the message out, right? Aren't they supposed to be about peace and love and coming here to bring us all together and everything? Why do you need to profit at that? Why wouldn't you just teach people how to ascend and get ready, and then they're going to ascend anyways? All your worries and cares are going to be gone, right?
See, I have a little bit of a theory on this, and I'm still working on it and trying to find evidence, which is a lot harder.
Money.
Because there are some of these conspiracies, and there is things throughout the government in works to try and do things. We know all that is true. We can talk about that on other things, and we'll talk about that on future shows because we'll be around for another 660 years. But I think a lot of this stuff is a pacifying movement. It's put out there by the government, whichever branch of it, whatever it is, to pacify people and get to people to just kind of be like, oh, we don't have to worry because aliens are going to save us. We don't have to worry because the secret space force is here and there's this other stuff. The new Jesus is going to come back and save us or whatever. The blue chicken people or this and stuff. A lot of this stuff is very pacifying. It's very pacifying information for people, and people just kind of like, yeah, I can just sit there and I can just pray and raise my vibrations and everything's going to be okay and stuff. and people's lives fucking fall apart, and then they go into all this other stuff, which that's what the government, the dark side, the people, whatever, that's the type of stuff that they want to happen. They want to create that type of chaos and that type of pacifying fucking shit, where people are all fucked up. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what to believe, don't know what to trust. They're fucking like, okay, I'm just going to sit back because I can't trust anything because the aliens are going to save me, or fucking the new Jesus, or whatever the fuck it is. They're the pacifying information that they think is going to come and help and save the whole fucking planet and themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in anything. That's the big thing with a lot of these people. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in humans. It's got to be aliens. It's got to be something else.
Something else is going to save
And
you.
so they get this information,
absolutely.
and it's very pacifying. And I think this movement, and that's why I'm saying, like, I'm still working on it and looking into it and stuff, but I think this is my theory right now. It's a theory. I haven't proven or anything like that there's a big pacifying movement going on, and this is part of it. This is a whole part of it, and getting people to just be very passive.
Yeah, that could very well be. And you know what I always think too, when people get into this ascension stuff and like saving humanity and the spiritual side of things, I always think like, what if Jesus or Buddha like charge $49.95 to get into a conference and give their truth? Like, really?
Exactly.
If you're going to save humanity, you're just going to save humanity. You're not going to charge $49.95 to get into this conference.
Exactly.
Shit, Martin Luther King would be alive if that's what he did, if he charged to go to all his speeches.
The truth shall set you free. So why are you charging me?
Yeah.
That's my motto. So if you're gonna be charging and stuff, I'm like, no, thank you.
Because you can't fight a revolution without a little bit of money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Money makes the world go round.
But yeah, that's the thing. And people watching and listening, and like you know, you Steven, and I don't know if Joe's still listening, and CW, if you guys are still listening and stuff, that's something to look into. That the big motive here is, I think a lot of this stuff is pacifying to people and stuff, and they're trying to put out pacifying.
Absolutely. I've heard the term hopium. Like, I don't have to worry about my problems because because the government's really oppressing me right now. But David Wilcock has been promising me that those mass arrests are coming, so I feel better.
Because they got this fucking
since 1998.
This breakaway government's here to save us and everything like that. So we don't have to fucking do anything or do whatever, and I can just sit back and I can just pretend and I can, you know, they trust the plan. I can just trust the plan. This whole Q thing is wicked pacifying. Just sit back and trust the plan.
All that corrupt government.
Okay.
Q's gonna cue us in on how that whole corrupt government is going to be fixed.
Yo, fuck
Q. So I feel better.
It is. So all these people that just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to sit back because I know Q and all these people are doing everything.
Too, Agent Orange. Yeah, the guy, I'm going to have the best secret space farce ever. It's going to be the best. This guy is going to be, he's the face of everything that's right, that's going to help us and save us.
That's what I mean. This whole thing, it's.
I get in trouble. I try not to talk politics with people because I'm very distrustful of anybody in government. And like, I think both sides are corrupt as hell. So like, you know, Republican friends call me a Democrat, and Democrat friends, you must be a Republican. No, they're all corrupt.
Yeah, they're all corrupt. It's like it's a two-headed snake.
To oppress you and steal from you. They don't care about you.
Left wing, right wing, same bird.
Yep, they all fly together.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
They all got pitches together.
And actually, when you really look at it, it's above politics and stuff. They're mostly puppets and stuff. It is. There really is a group of people. They're not reptilians or anything like that. There's people that are in charge that want to keep shit the way it is and keep things going,
and make their money,
and make their money and keep their power and their fucking everything like that. But they're not doing it because they're fucking satanic worshiping fucking reptilians and fucking all this other shit. They're just greedy, egotistical, fucking sadistic, fucking power hungry people
who got together a long time ago.
A long time ago. This is look at the Queen of England doesn't, and the Queen's that family doesn't stay in charge for that long. For a reason. There's a reason why they're like that and everything. You get so again, like we'll be talking about some of this and showing and unraveling some of these pieces, and that's where the real truth is, and that's why a lot of these things that these so-called truthers, they're like, yeah, this is the truth. I'm like, no, you're just trying to fucking keep everybody from finding out what we're talking about right here, right now. You're just giving people pacifying bullshit. You're just giving them fucking disinformation. You're just hanging out a little fucking worm. Here, fishies, come over here. Don't worry about this big fucking thing over here.
Yeah, exactly. It's called misdirection.
Yeah.
And the government employs that all the time.
Exactly.
Absolutely all the time they use that.
Hey, don't worry about it, because
they'll sit there and say,
hey, don't worry about it. Endgame made what, like $3 billion at this point. Well, I mean, that's what's important. You know, those things are important. You got to focus on that, folks. Don't worry about all the fucking smoke and mirrors.
People in that, like the truth are like us, and we'll call out and we'll be like, oh yeah, you know, everybody's worried about Endgame, or everybody's worried about the Kardashians and stuff like that. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're all worried about aliens and fucking blue chickens and fucking Ascension and all this other, distracted with all this other bullshit, instead of worrying about, wait a minute, who's telling me this information? Where did this story really come from? Why is everybody believing this story? What's going on here? But you're all concerned about, why does everybody believe about the Kardashians and all this other bullshit that's on mainstream TV? But you're not questioning the bullshit that you believe in and the stuff that you're following just as religiously as those people watching Game of Thrones and all this other shit.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on that. And the thing it gets
there's only a small group of us that are still asking these questions.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
It gets crazy lately with all these people that really truly believe that disclosure is right around the corner. It's gonna happen any day now.
It's always coming.
I don't think it's ever gonna. They have
especially
reason to do that. They have no reason.
I know.
They have no incentive to let us know the truth.
I know. People are still screaming disclosure when the Navy just outright came out into the media saying, yeah, we're going to keep taking UFO reports, but we ain't telling you nothing.
Because there's nothing. What they'll tell you is their secrets. They can't tell you.
They're like, okay, yeah, we saw Russians flying this new fucking top secret fucking squad of these
or some
magical
shit,
drones or whatever it is.
Who flew it? Some
or,
fucking
exactly. They don't know. Is it North Korea? Is it Nigeria?
Is it Canada? Shit. Maybe Canada got beef with us now. Maybe
Is it
Trudeau's like, fuck it.
Is it some fucking kid testing a drone he fucking built and he wanted to check out the air fucking planes over here and shit? You know, who the fuck knows? But they're not going to tell us anything. And they just said that. They just said, we got a new plan for reporting this shit and we're not telling you anything. And everybody's still like, disclosure.
You don't need to know. We need to know. You don't need to know.
The disclosure flag's still waving. Yeah, they're still going to tell us. Don't worry.
It's coming. It's coming. The tribunals, everything, the arrest, Hillary Clinton, Obama. They're going to go get Richard Nixon. They're going to actually go pull up the dead presidents, too, and they're going to hang all those guys.
Dig them up, put them on trial.
Yeah, they're going to go all over the world, not just here in America. They're going everywhere. They're going to go to Mars. They're going to have tribunals on the moon. They're going to have them on Jupiter. They're definitely going to have them in Uranus. There's going to be tribunals on Uranus. Like, there's going to be tribunals. Everything's coming. It still ain't came.
Yeah, military tribunals for people who aren't in the military. I don't think these people say they talk to military people all the time and they're in the military or they were in the military, but they use terms that they don't even understand, that somebody in the military or knows people in the military would know these terms and they would use them in the correct manner, but they don't use words in the proper way. It's word salad. They throw
sounds good. A word salad. That's the best
they just pick a whole bunch of words that sound good and they're like,
great. This sounds great.
Here you go.
Military tribunals.
That's what we were talking about earlier with CW, the fucking quantum. They just throw quantum out there and everything. They're like quantum fucking mechanics. It proves everything. Master. Quantum mechanics. It just proves everything we're talking about. You don't understand you don't even understand what the word quantum fucking means, let alone what quantum mechanics or anything to do with quantum physics, anything quantum at all.
Does quantum
You don't even understand the quantum realm in the fucking goddamn Avengers movies.
Wait a minute. They saw Quantum Leap, so they know a thing or two about quantum. Okay?
Yeah, they know what quantum means. Hey. I think, though, that it's great that we have shows like yours where people can get alternative views and they can look more deeply into subjects that most people just gloss over. You know, like most people just gloss over these things. They don't look too deeply. You watch your CNN and you go, okay, that must be the news. That must be what's going on because the media just told me that. And I think alternative media is getting huge. The old media is slowly dying. And even all old entertainment forms, the big old networks, media networks are dying out in favor of more independent stuff that's going on. I mean, you look at Joe Rogan. Like, this guy's just a total independent guy doing a podcast from his living room almost.
No, he's got
You
a
know?
full on fucking. He
Well,
started
he's got
in
a
like
full-on
his
studio,
basement.
but it's in
He
his
started
house,
like in his
and,
garage and
he
stuff.
doesn't. Nobody owns him.
Yeah, nobody owns him.
He doesn't have
Nothing.
to report to a producer or a network. He just does his own thing, and it's the biggest, most.
As long as he keeps within YouTube's guidelines, basically, and
because he does the DMT
and
that's
that
why.
stuff, which he does pretty good and stuff. I haven't
DMT.
heard him talking about strikes for anything. Even his Alex Jones stuff, he doesn't get strikes for.
That's because he does
so.
the goddamn DMT.
You know? But as most people would be like, oh, he's a shill, he's a government insider,
Of course
he's
he's a
this
shill, I
and
told
he's
you.
that. No, he's just a reasonable,
Joe said his
rational,
family
intelligent person who thinks logically about things. And when he really dug into a lot of these subjects, he, like us and like you and a lot
Joe
of people,
has
are
given
coming
into
to
the
find
evil
out
cabal.
that it's bullshit, and that real evidence speaks to the facts and everything.
You're
so,
all wrong.
You know, but he's a great interviewer with all these people and everything. I think he's better than fucking Howard fucking Stern and everything. I'd much rather
you leave
watch
Howard Stern alone. He
him
gives
than
me a
Howard
platform
Stern
to
and
talk
everything.
on.
And you know, he does ask questions and he does put things out there.
Smoking. You have any more of that tobacco? Can I get some more of that tobacco, please?
Get some of that tobacco.
Thank you. I love this tobacco. This is good tobacco right here. When I smoke
This is
this,
the last tobacco of the night.
Yeah, I don't do DMT, but I'll smoke the shit out of some tobacco with you though.
But yeah, and you know, thank you for what you said about our show and your show. The same thing, and CW and the people that I spin it.
Joe
You know,
from
we're the
Carolinas,
alternative.
Like, I think that's a great show, and Kelly with explaining esoterica. And you know, I hope to be a little bit more involved with other people's shows. I'm glad that I could come out and support you guys for your anniversary. This is awesome that you guys lasted 6 years doing this. I have much respect for that.
And
it's a thankless job, so let me at least thank you for doing that. Because somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
And when you go and you look and you can see the changes, and you can see where we kind of were like, fuck, what are we supposed to do? Do we keep going with this?
Right
and
now.
do we go?
I'm at that point right now. Oh my God, I gotta
with
go
all this,
move
and
to
you know, we'll
video
find
and-
stuff and we'll be like, all right, this looks cool and stuff, and we start to dig into it, and we're like, fuck, all right, we gotta retract this one, or we can't say this, or we can't. Oh, we can say this, but we gotta say it in a different way than we normally would say it and stuff, and just be like, hey, sorry, everybody, this is bullshit, you know. And I call us the alternative media, because you have a lot of alternative media that's pushing the woo bullshit, but then you have us.
Everything is real.
We are the alternative to the alternative media, where we're like, oh no, that fucking alternative is woo bullshit. This is the alternative from the mainstream that you want, and this is the truth that these two are trying to keep you from. The mainstream's keeping you way the fuck over here. These guys are keeping you way the fuck over here. When we got people like us and the other guys we've talked about tonight and have been on the show, we're trying to be like, no, we're over here, guys. This is the truth back here. You know what I mean? And it's a hard game to be in. But just keep on fighting the fight, right? Just keep on going. It's fun though, yeah. I have fun with I have fun with all of it. Even back when I believed in a lot of this stuff, and I was that this stuff was a lot more plausible or more real, could be more real. And now that I know it's not, I'm still having just as much fun. Because I like finding out information. I like gaining knowledge and wisdom and stuff, and then being able to use it and spread that stuff. And that's what I've done. At first, I find this stuff and this information and put it out there as this. And then as we learn more, I got to change what I said before because I got some new information, new knowledge and stuff. And here we go. This is the facts or whatever, you know. I just like learning.
It's good that you're able to do that because some guys just lock onto a story and they don't, at some point, especially when money is involved, they don't care if it's true or not. They're not reporting to their listeners the downside of what they found.
Even if money was involved, I don't care. I would lose a contract. I would lose whatever if I do something was there and stuff and like things that because we've been had offers to do stuff, but we weren't good.
We have.
We've had stuff where people offers and stuff
over the years for all kinds of shows, television. Shit,
but we didn't. We're like, no, we can't go on there and put bullshit out there and do that. I refuse to do it and stuff, and that's where we got to the point with this show. We're like, we can't just keep on going with bullshit. I'm not that kind of person. If I know this is no longer, as much as I wanted shit to be real and I believed it to be real, and the information, a lot of the information I thought was real, and then I started to weigh it as all the stuff I'm going, I'm like, it really was hard for me to let go some of these things that I believed in for so long, and then I wanted to be real for so long and everything, you know, for years and years, half of my life, some of this stuff, and then to find out it's just bullshit. It's really tough to deal with that, but then again, I'm still having just as much as fun as I was before, and it's just like, hey, I learn. You live and you learn.
Yeah,
As long
just gotta
as
find some new rabbit holes that are worth going down.
exactly,
I guess.
and as long as
Oh,
you're
there's
having
always
fun
there's a
and you're
bunch of them.
learning from your
There's always
experiences
another one.
and from your mistakes or from your experiences of what happened in life, it's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
So
There's always new rabbit holes to go down. That's the thing. It's fun. It is. And it's enjoyable too. Like
Absolutely.
I said, I make my rounds. I should be at Contact in the Desert. I'll have some fun and meet some new people and meet some old people and link up with like CW and Kelly again and stuff and just keep it moving. And those other guys, whether they're there, I know how to do my thing. It's like when I go to the movies. I go to the movies to see what I go to see. If I go to see 2 movies, I've picked 2 movies out, but there could be 30 other movies there that may not interest me. That's fine. It's the same thing going to an event and stuff. There's still, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's still some great people who are doing real research, who are fighting back, and some of them are prevalent. There's some people, I don't remember all their names and stuff, I don't even really mention them, but you can go do some, that's the thing, again, it comes back to research. Even the people who hit us up, my favorite line that people hit us with is do some research.
We got to come up with another word because a lot of people throw around that research. Like even Corey Good, fucking David Wilcox, he's like, yeah, just go out and do your research and stuff. People don't really understand what researching is. Maybe we should use investigative research or something. We got to put another thing because if we say we're researchers and stuff and we're fucking shitting on these people that say they're researchers, it's kind of like, I don't know. But or call it.
Remember, David Wilcock calls himself a researcher.
He calls himself a researcher, which he's not, because he stops when he
content
he didn't research Pete Peterson at
he
all.
stops or he ignores facts and stuff. That's why I like to say we're paranormal investigators, because an investigator has to investigate everything and outweigh. You're not just researching it. You got to look at everything and find the actual facts, like a detective. You got to outweigh, I might be attached to this fucking person in this homicide case for whatever reason and stuff, but I got to look past that and I got to go with the evidence that's over here. As much as I believe in my heart that this person is a good person or whatever, I got to go with this, just like a detective.
Yeah, I got to say the most enjoyable part of what I do is when I find that information that nobody else seemed to, clinch onto or find. And I know that I got something good here that nobody else really realized because I dug deeper than most people did, or whatever the case may be. That's the most enjoyable part for me. I just got to get back to working more on credible cases, because it gets discouraging when you go, like you said, like, oh, I really want to believe this is true, and now I found out it's bullshit.
Hey, Santa Claus wasn't real. Fuck it. Wake up.
That's good. The truth stuff is the harder one, because that's the one that's really buried deep under the bullshit. But it's down there. Like I said, we're working on some theories and stuff. We'll pass some information to you. If we all get together and we're all detectives together, and we work as a group of detectives, and everybody's researching,
and other people.
Because my wife is just constantly yelling at me and stuff. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Reading." She's like, "Reading what?" And I start to tell her, and she's like, "I don't want to know about that stuff." I'm like, "Well, why are you asking what I'm reading and stuff?" She's like, "Because that's all you're ever doing." I'm always on my phone or a computer or something, looking into something or thinking about something. And I'm like,
Yeah, my poor wife just calls it my crazy. She comes in and she goes, "Are you working on your crazy?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "All right, I'll see you later."
Yep.
And then we even have this, like, I'm in this new office and there's this closet that she just named the rabbit hole. It's like a big walk-in closet, just big enough to fit like a computer and a laptop in, and you can barely stand in it, and like that's going to be the rabbit hole. So she's like, just go in there and work on your crazy.
She calls this. She's like, "You going down to the hole?" She calls the hole in the basement.
Yeah, there you go.
I've sold my crazy. Everybody around me either bought into it and shit, and that's it. It is what it is. You can call it crazy. You can call
she
it
gets it. She doesn't call it really crazy and stuff. She just gets it because it consumes a lot of what I'm doing and stuff, because it's a lot of reading, a lot of searching and skimming through. Again,
yeah, absolutely.
Like on Google, you can't go back to how many O's are. Like, remember Google in the old days when you did a search, the O's used to get more O's.
Yeah, absolutely.
You used to have to find the truth. You got to go deep into the O's, but you got to be skimming through all that other stuff before that to see what's in there.
Page 27.
Yeah, page 27, page 227. You know what I mean?
That was like page 2 million. You might get some.
So it
shit.
takes a lot of time and stuff, and that's the thing that she just gets annoyed with. Is just I'm either down here doing it, or I'm even upstairs.
Most wives think that most of your time should be consumed with family matters, but you got to have something to take yourself away from that, and that keeps you interested and engaged. So, you could be spending all your time doing a lot worse things.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's what I said. And she knows, she understands that too. She just wishes I would spend a little bit less because it does consume, but it is. It's a time-consuming hobby and thing to do. And I don't just do it as a hobby and stuff. I do it because to get the truth out there and to let people know. That's why we always done this, and to let people know, find information,
that's what I was saying. It's
and
like
pass it on there.
service.
Whether it's because we ain't got no huge followings and everything. We're getting it out to there. We're getting the message out there. We're getting more people, and we're getting the group is growing and stuff. So that's a good thing, and that's all I care about. One person turns into two people. 2 is to 4 to 8, and then you know how mathematics work. So.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that. Is like you just got to keep watering that garden, and eventually
we've been watering for 6 years.
Yeah, you just keep going though. Like imagine where you're going to be follower-wise.
It's getting greener every year too.
A few more years,
It gets greener and greener.
Absolutely. And 6 years, congratulations, guys. That's amazing to me. Because I don't know, I think I've been doing mine for like a few years, but I had this thing I'm not going to have a schedule. I'm not going to do a show every week because I can't. I'm going to do a show whenever I have something good to put out. I can't imagine having a schedule. I'm going to try to do that, but I worry I won't have a good content or, But you guys, I got to say, you got balls to do that live and to just every week without fail keep putting out more material.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
The only time we've ever missed a show is because of technical shit. It's something just beyond our control, but that's it. I mean, I've had to call in or do stuff from other places when I travel and stuff, but we've always pretty much had a show every Thursday night. And that was the thing. There's plenty of content. And that's the thing with all the content and stuff is that we found that everything is paranormal. And how these worlds collided and stuff and what they've grown into right now. It's just kind of a mess and a hodgepodge. And
even politics is fucking paranormal. It's so fucking abnormal, especially where you have the cute shit tying into it. So you got to dig into the politics and everything. But you got to look into politics and stuff anyway, because again, they're being controlled by money and stuff. And where's that money coming from and everything like that? And that's part of the whole conspiracy thing and the whole finding out the information and the truth so we can all fucking really be free and make the world a better place instead of ascending to another fucking planet or dimensions or fucking whatever, aliens coming to save us or Jesus coming back or fucking whatever the fuck people want to believe. Instead of what happened, let's make being human great again.
That's a pretty good way.
That's my hashtag on everything. Let's make being human great again.
I want to answer one quick question that's in the chat. I can't say his name. Is it Kill and Die? He said, do you think you really ever find the answer to the questions you are after? And I will say this for myself personally, that I found some answers through investigating, through diligence and stuff, but I just keep wanting more. There are some things that have been answered, but there's a lot more stuff that needs to be answered.
See, the thing is, it's not to be answered, are aliens real? I know that they're real. Mathematically, there's no way with the only thing that's in the universe. The thing that is with that is the answers I'm getting is this story true? And the answer is, no, it's not. So I'm happy with that. Is this story true? Yes. Okay. I'm happy with that answer. I'm happy with whatever the answer is when I'm done with and I've dug really deep and I can't really dig anymore because I've fucking hit the bedrock. You know what I mean? And I'm happy with those answers. And I still know, and I'm going to still search because I know there's another story out there, that there's another possibility. We still believe in everything. All this stuff is possible. Aliens, Bigfoot, all that stuff. But we know that pretty much, I'd say, I can't put it's high 80 to 90% of it. Everything out there is bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit. And then there's some stuff down there that has some credibility to it. That will put highly plausible stuff.
On the bone.
Has some meat. Yeah, exactly. Has some meat on the bone. So yeah, I'm happy with the answers that we get and stuff. I'm not disappointed that all these UFO stories I believed over the years and all this ancient alien stuff and everything that I thought was real, because they have all this stuff that seems really things. But then you start to learn cuneiform and ancient Sumerian and stuff, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not what Anunnaki means. That's not what any of this stuff says. What the fuck are these people talking about? You start to learn about the ancient Mayans and their ancient cultures and what they believed in everything, and then you're like, wait a minute, that's not a rocket ship.
Bible.
And then you start to think logically that these stories are saying these people are flying to other planets and around the galaxy in a rocket ship. We can barely get to the moon in a rocket ship. And you just start to, again, you don't stop questioning it. So I'm happy when I get answers, whether it's the answer that I wanted it to be or not. I got an answer. So that's good. That's good enough for me.
Sometimes I invest a great deal of time to just prove that something is bullshit, but at least I'm glad at the end of the day that that's out of my
I got
gray
the truth.
basket and in the black basket, and now I can never think about that again. I know it's bullshit. Let's go to the next thing that I can maybe find some kind of truthful.
I'm looking for the truth, so I'm happy when I find out if it's the truth or if it's not the truth. And I continue my search for the truth. Okay, this isn't the truth. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? That's cool. Let's find the next thing. So that's awesome, and we need more people out there, and we got to just keep searching that, and to put your beliefs aside, because we strongly believe a lot of this stuff, that aliens are real. They gotta be. I just don't think there's anywhere near here, and if they've been here, they just kind of flew by and then they were gone. Whatever that was, I don't think it was any time recently or anything like that. But we're a speck of dust when you think about the universe. People can't even grasp that.
And if they did come here, they didn't contact these guys. They're not fucking reaching out to these.
They're not talking to Corey Good.
Yeah. Any real
They're not talking
insider,
to David Wilcox.
Anybody with real information about anything secret is not going to trust these fucking Three Stooges or the rest of them, whatever you want to call them, a bumbling fucking idiots with any real tangible information. They're not. They're just not. Why would you? Anybody who has any
why
friends...
would Bashar talk to Daryl Anchor and all these
even,
things and any of this stuff and channeling and
but
aliens
even inside, supposedly government inside. If anybody has any friends in law enforcement and any kind of FBI, any kind of friends like that who do any kind of stuff like that, anybody in the military, anybody really in the military, anybody who's done real stuff like secret stuff in the military,
or intelligence,
they're not going to these guys.
They're not going to be like, where's David Wilcox? I got an insider story for him.
Where's Emery Smith? Because he's been so good at telling all these stories. I gotta go find him because I was in the military too, doing deep ops and stuff. I gotta find this guy and put this shit out there. They're not going to these guys. And if these guys were gonna go to somebody, they're gonna go to legitimate journalists. They're gonna go to people with credible fucking sources and credible power.
You gotta get it out in a credible way because they actually want to put it out there. They're not out there to make a quick buck. Who's gonna believe my story? Oh, David Wilcox. Well, cool. Hey, what's up, David? I got a cool story from you. Yeah, here's my papers. It says I was in the military. Ignore that part where it says I was a potato peeler.
Well, I always like that term that David Wilcock and other people throw out there, and they say that they're a whistleblower. Listen, a credible whistleblower, like Chelsea Manning or like Snowden, they're not going to David Wilcock. They're not going to Corey Good.
They're doing actual data dumps.
Yeah, they're going to go to CNN.
I love how Corey Good says that Q is a data dump. I'm like, no, a cryptic fucking stupid message is not a data dump, dude. Snowden and these people, that's a data dump when you fucking dump fucking thousands and thousands of files fucking stolen for government fucking facilities. That's a data dump.
My other favorite word that both those guys use is intel. I have new intel. You're not getting intel. You're getting bullshit. That's what you're getting. Yeah. You just wrote some new bullshit. It's not intel.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, they misuse. It's a word salad. They just toss together words that...
Sounds good, though. I got the latest intel for you guys.
Dude, could you imagine, that, since we know, especially through Kelly Pharma, that they have these little groups and stuff. They probably have a subgroup where there's like 4 or 5 of them, probably not too many people, and it's just the brains of the outfit who just sit there and say, okay. So this week, we talked about last week, we got to figure out something to talk about this week. Let's knock our heads around, guys. What do we got? You went out drinking last night. What did you come up with?
Linda Moulton Hall's got this thing on Antarctica. Oh, cool. I got this. Yeah. I got a story. We'll just do this.
Fart in 1 and fart in 2.
We'll spin it over this way, and we'll make it our own story and stuff. Because none of these guys, their stories, they're all along the same storyline, kinda, but nobody can get their story straight. This guy's story and her story and her story, and they're all fucking. It's like, do any of you even know what the Anunnaki look like for real, or do anybody know is there really blue chicken birds, or how come your pyramid's in this part of fucking Antarctica and yours is over here and yours, Corey Good, is in the water, and it's like, where is the fucking pyramid in Antarctica?
Well, it's convenient that they use a place like Antarctica that nobody can go check.
But that's the funny thing here, Steve, because we've done research on this, and I tell people all the time that post up that bullshit and say this, you can go to Antarctica. Trips start off roughly at about $7,000 all the way up to fucking however much you want if you want a luxurious super fucking yacht to take you there. And anybody can go there. There's no restriction, need a passport and stuff, plane. So it's about a cost a trip to Europe. But the other thing when you go there, it's fucking cold, even in the summertime. And it's kind of boring. It's really white. There's not much color or anything.
Yeah,
there is a
absolutely.
lot to do. If you like hiking and stuff like that, you can climb these mountains that they claim are pyramids. If these are pyramids, they're 4,000 fucking feet tall. The pictures that they put up there saying are pyramids, they're 4,000 foot tall mountains that people hike up all the time. People, there's a dude, Colin O'Brady, just walked Antarctica in record time and stuff like that. He didn't see a fucking hole in the Middle Earth. He didn't see pyramids or none of this stuff. He didn't see anything.
Nothing.
He posted all kinds of video, got all kinds of.
But here's the thing:
and
but
anybody
they go to Egypt,
can do
they
this.
go to all the places that are easy to get to, that cost good money to get to,
that are
and
nice
stuff.
and everything.
South America,
and
everywhere. They can go to Bosnia and claim that those are pyramids.
costs the same to go to Egypt as it does to go to Antarctica. But it's cold there.
Yeah.
And it's boring. And that would because everybody sees the stuff that's on
it
Egypt.
Costs $500,000.
Everybody's seen the pyramids and stuff, but not everybody's seen what's all over Antarctica. These people, if they put your money where your mouth is, go down to Antarctica. Because when you get to Antarctica, there's people, you can literally charter a plane that will fly you all over. And then people's like, there's a no-fly zone. Yeah, there is a no-fly zone in Antarctica because they don't want a plane to crash and to have to get it out of there to preserve Antarctica. So there is areas that you cannot fly in. But you can have a plane fly you to that area, and then you can get out, and you can hike anywhere you want in that area. Or you can take, and you can have fucking snowmobiles and fucking trucks, and you can go out there to that area, and then you have to hike. But there is areas where you cannot have vehicles unless they rescue things and stuff like that, because they don't want to have to anybody crash a plane and have to fucking clean up that mess and stuff, because it's really hard to do that. So there is a lot of rules and stuff, but there isn't any restriction on where you can go there. It's just how you get there.
What about the
and
ice wall?
There is an actual, here's another rule that most people don't know. In those areas where you can't fly and stuff either, you actually have to take your shit out with you. You have to bag up your shit and carry it back out with you. You cannot leave. They will not let you leave your shit in there. If they find out you let your shit in there, it's a fucking big, huge fine, and you can probably go to jail. And they're really serious about that, according to Colin O'Brady. He's like, he carried out all his shit. And anybody, because other people have done what he's done. He's not the first person to do that. And people go and they climb around in Antarctica. So I just wanted to put out there, because a lot of people have that as a misconception, is like it's a place that's off limits, nobody can go and stuff. You can go and read the treaty, and it tells you everything, that it's not off limits. It's just off limits to military fucking intervention and stuff like that. Nobody can claim it as their own or anything like that. Scientific things, go for it.
You know, one of the funny things about that Spartan 1 and Spartan 2 stories.
Fartin 1 and Fartin 2.
Yeah, but see, Linda Moulton Howe puts a picture of a gray alien taken on the moon by one of these Spartan guys behind a paywall. And you have to pay to see this picture of a genuine gray alien. And then it turns out to be a picture from a 2005 video game cover called Area 51.
Wow.
And then I called her on this, and I got a lot of this big email exchange between, I don't even think it was her. I think it was like her internet, like her social media manager, saying that I got to take this post down and this and that, and she'll correct herself. And she just changed the wording to say alleged gray alien, and kept it behind a paywall, and kept charging people money to see this picture of this gray alien.
Instead of saying what it, see, that's what she's so invested. She can't fucking actually say the truth. Oh, sorry, I got bad intel. I don't play video games. I didn't know this was a fucking video game and shit like that.
Come
you know
on,
what I mean?
else is she
or whatever.
going to do?
You know.
What else? If you listen, I earjack a lot of shit when I'm in these places, especially in the night, because I can stay up late. I can stay up all night for days and shit. That's not an issue. So I hear a lot of the end of the night conversations, and persons like her, she's sitting not too far from me and has the whole little group around her, and she's got that dramatic Linda
she's holding court.
Yes. Right, and that's what she does and stuff, and they make it sound like they have these dramatic lives, and that airport to airport,
that's what they are.
Hotel to hotel,
that's what the snake sale. That's what the snake oil salesman used to do at the end of the day. He would go into the fucking bar that he was just out front selling all the oil to all these people, and then he would go inside and spin some more stories. So the next day, that all their friends and everybody that's sitting there listening comes back and they buy the oil. They keep this thing up. They got to keep this look going when anybody in the public is around and everything. They got to keep it spinning their stories and everything. They got everybody they meet, their whole entire life, fucking lies. Basically, that's the other thing. I don't know how these people can live like that, knowing, because they have to know.
They're actors.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Where we get into it,
NDAs
a lot of these things,
and entertainment
these
agreements
people,
with these companies.
exactly,
That's
they're actors and stuff, and exactly.
There's a role that they know that they have to play.
Exactly.
That's why you have all these companies behind
That's what
them
we're
because they
uncovering,
understand that they're hiring actors. When you sit down and look, and your contract says, okay,
but
this is entertainment and stuff, because that's clearly what it is. It's not saying that the stuff that in your contract, it's not saying the stuff that you put out is factual stuff. It's not stuff that you've proven beyond a record of a doubt.
Yeah, you're just
and we're going to back you
out there and
100% tooth and nail because what you're saying is the truth. You're not doing that. You're signing an entertainment contract to entertain people. This is what these people do. That's what they see it as. So I don't think after all these years of watching them do it that it's any stress.
Well, they don't all have
struggle.
having entertainment contracts and stuff with people like
saying,
Corey Good and
but
David
a lot of them are
Wilcock. They're their own things.
They're putting on a show.
And that's
the
what
show
I mean.
Must go on. It's Ringling Brothers, Bottom and Bailey Circus and stuff because the circus is in town.
But
people pay good money to go to see the circus. You can't see
but the
animals
circus,
and stuff
okay.
anymore. The humans are the animals.
I know you can't.
The humans are the animals now. That's the new circus. It's
but the
us.
circus, you knew that the circus was the circus and everything. They're going out there and again, snake oil salesmen peddling truth as stuff that's not. And how do you just literally
think about the stuff that they sold, the two-headed man or whatever, all that crazy shit that people believed was real. People thought the stuff these anomalies were real.
Yeah, the sideshow stuff.
Exactly. It's the same shit.
But a lot of that was real, but it wasn't real as people imagined it to be and stuff too. But again, it was acting and stuff. But the majority of people knew the circus was the circus and stuff. The sideshow was just to get the little attractions, get the kid. Oh, mommy, let's see. It was the things that how they worked the thing. But these people are legit actors that live out a lie on a daily basis and stuff. Like these people and stuff weren't like living out lies, like because the wolf people, those guys are legit hairy people. They're not really wolves and stuff like that. They got a disorder and a gene or whatever, and they're wolves and stuff like that. The bearded lady, she just didn't shave her fucking beard. Women have beards. That's what it was and everything like that. She was really a bearded lady and stuff like that. The dude could really swallow swords.
Or it was a dude in a dress.
Yeah.
I saw one that was definitely a dude in a dress.
But these people legit out there every day. Linda Moulton Howe, you've seen her out there. She's fucking living this fucking lie everywhere she goes, and until she goes home at night, and then she's got to go home, and she's like, oh God, that's why she puts those videos. It's so rough. This life is so rough because she's out there every day. She's got to peddle this bullshit to people every single day, all day long, and she can't stop.
She's gotta love it at this point. I just think that these people love.
I think they do.
They're celebrities in their own right.
Because
that's
the
their
thing.
niche, how to be celebrities in a way that some people, it's their touch, their 15 minutes of fame, whatever you want to call it. It is their way of
their
being
moral compass and stuff is like a lot of celebrities. They people say they sold their soul to the devil and stuff. No, they fucking found. They're like fucking power hungry, money. They found it, and these people fucking love me.
I just wonder in all the bullshit with any of them, like, because with us, with me. It's my personal experiences and stuff that we've talked about over the years, our personal experiences. Have these motherfuckers even had any real paranormal experience? Like, because like with David Wilcox, where he kind of first came on the scene and what he was doing and stuff. And then
we don't even before that. Where was he before that phone call and stuff? He was probably doing those fucking, those little fucking college fucking sci-fi magazines and little obscure fucking things that you find fucking here and there or whatever.
Failed writer
failed writer and stuff like that. And he's like, I got to get something. I got to get my stuff out there. I need a crazy story.
But I just wonder if they've ever had any real experience, like something that at least if you can say like this kind of got me started. And then at some point, I really did. Like it's like kind of like a politician.
I'm sure some of them have.
Like what they mean well, but in the end, it's like the fucking system really isn't going to allow you to do any real good. It's already set up for you to fail. So with these guys, I don't know.
I think weird. Some of them, some of them, I've heard. I forget who I was just watching recently. Like, yeah, it goes back to when I was. I was like a kid and I saw a UFO when I was younger, and I've just always been into that stuff my whole life. And then as I got older and stuff, I find out all this stuff, and then. Blah, blah, whatever and stuff. So, you see that and you keep that throughout. So they might have actually been in, but they just were like, oh, let me just spin this whole story from my memory from as a kid, and let me add into all these other stories and stuff like that. And, that's probably the 70-30 rule. That's a little bit of the truth. You know what I mean?
There had to be some root.
There has to be some little bit of truth in there. Like when they're talking about, like, the pyramids in Egypt. Okay, that part was the truth of it. And then when they say there's aliens buried underneath of it, there was the bullshit. And all this other stuff. And these hieroglyphs mean this and that and everything. Okay, no, you got some truth in there. You're in Egypt and you're looking at the pyramids and there's some hieroglyphs, but everything else you're saying is bullshit.
Yeah, there's always some root of truth in most of the lies, because that makes it a little more believable.
Yeah, so a lot of these people, they could have really had a ghost experience when they were younger, or an alien experience or something that they contribute to thinking that or whatever. And then, as time went on, they were, like us. I had experiences when I was youngest, so that's how we got into it. We all got into it and stuff. And they got into it like, well, how do I make money off this? Because the stories I'm telling are this and that. And it's like, oh, let me do something and blah, blah, blah. And here we go.
A little bit of truth ain't working, so I got to spin a tangled web.
I got to spin some tangled web.
Absolutely.
I need some insiders and some vetted people
some fantastic stories all put together. Let me go to my.
I gotta go read a lot of comics and sci-fi books and watch a lot of movies and let me spin this all together
and Twilight Zone and Night Gallery and
it's all real to me.
Yeah. X-Files and Sliders and all of them.
All right, everybody. This is the real last blunt this time. When this one is done, we're done for the night, everybody.
Thank you for riding out with us, too,
Thank you, Steve, and everybody else watching. And
it's good. We're going to have you back on, I know, because we'd really like to get to talk to you more about who you are and stuff and a little bit more of your back. Because like I said, I'm a fan. We've watched just a ton of your stuff and gone back and caught up some of the old stuff and everything, too. And it's even with you. That's one of the things I like, too, because you've actually been one of the people who have been able to kind of get through to what you might call your adversaries, and at some point have them on and talk directly to them. And you have that's the thing. I like that some of these folks are able to have a cordial conversation, and even though you may not believe
that I didn't believe.
Right.
I've had a few that I didn't believe, but I still
we've had
wanted
people
to give
on
them
that
opportunity, and I wanted to have that conversation with them.
But that's good. That's an important thing that some of these folks are willing to stand up. And I think that some of them, with some of the stuff they believe is truly real to them. But then some of the other shit is just a bunch of fucking bullshit. And the ones who are just pretty much 100% bullshit, or we'll say 99% bullshit, are the ones who aren't. I just don't get it. There's no fight back at all. There's none.
And what's funny with me is when I started my show, I wanted to talk to certain people, and people were like, that person's not going to talk to you. And like Stan Friedman, I just called him up one day. His phone number's on his website. And I said, I'm starting this show. I'd really like to talk to you. And he was like, when do you want to do it, kid? It's amazing that some people would help a virtual nobody that just had an interest and wanted to explore these topics. And we've been able to get some of the guests that people said, there's no way you're going to get that guy on your show. I just interviewed Stephen Bassett. That's the next episode that's coming up for me. And I kind of use that microphone like a passport. Like, I'm going to use this microphone to get to this person that I've always wanted to talk to. And that's an awesome thing to be able to do that.
Yes, sir. I mean, we've had some great guests on our show and stuff too, and that's what you want to do. But you want to have good conversations. Some of the folks, like I said, we've moved.
We've had guests on our show that at the time we believed them and we went along with them, and some of the guests at the time we didn't believe them, and we were like, yeah, we'll just and then now they're looking back, we're like, yeah, well, we ain't gonna go and we ain't gonna stick up for you no more. We're not gonna yes you and agree you anymore. If you come on our show again, or we get anybody, we're not gonna be assholes about it and dicks and everything. Like, we got some questions, we want some answers.
And I have a file of 4 or 5 shows that never happened because the guests got pissed at some of my questions and just was like, if you're going to be argumentative and negative, I don't want to continue. Forget it. And I just kind of shelved them, and maybe someday I'll broadcast that because some of that stuff is funny. Your bullshit is so bad that you can't withstand a few questions, and you want to hang up on me and forget the show.
Yeah, okay. They start to say, "Oh, you're being negative." No, I'm asking a question. I didn't call you a name. I didn't say anything like that. I'm asking.
Questions.
This is the evidence that we have before us. What do you have to say about that? And they're like, "Oh, no, I don't want to talk." Okay, I have my answers right there. That's pretty much, you got your answer right there. Okay. You can't fucking come out. You can't come clean. You're going to just peddle your bullshit, or you're not going to, if they don't want to say anything, then they're definitely fucking bullshit. But if they sit there and they're like, no, that's bullshit and stuff, and they keep peddling the story, and you're like, I'm clearly looking at the fucking file right here that says that, no, this fucking didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I have the actual police reports and stuff. It's public records and everything, and I have all these other reports that say what you're saying is not true at all. We got witnesses. We got everything. You still gonna go with that story?
Yeah, I gotta stick to it. I'm committed, man. I'm sold at this point. I'm in.
I own the boat now. They're like, I'm fucking invested.
Exactly. I love the boat
This is
analogy.
the Titanic, baby.
You're
I'm
so invested in that boat.
So
you
invested.
can't let it sink. You just gotta keep pumping
keeps
more
fucking
into
sinking.
it.
Hey,
I'm gonna get it to float one day.
the old motto: the captain must go down with the ship. Right? They live by the code of the sea. It's the old sailor code.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then you got the ones that are like, fuck, I don't want the ship to go down. I'm going to shut up. Ending it right now, putting a stop to the leak, because sometimes people will start to slip up when they start defending themselves and stuff. That's why I have a lot of them, they just shut up. They're like, nope, interview's over. Because they'll get off of their fucking subject. They'll forget something in their story and stuff because they're off guard and stuff. They'll be like, oh, you said what now? You got what? There's a picture of you right here and you're in your backyard and you're making a fake alien. What do you have to say about that? What? No, that's not how it happened.
That was
the
my kid's
story.
birthday party. Y'all were wrong.
It was a pinata.
That was taken around Halloween. I was about to put up an alien in my back, but why is that the same picture
absolutely.
you're using on your website?
I think the best guests for me have been the ones that like knew going in that I was going to ask them a lot of hard questions and I was going to pull punches, and they were able to come out of it like pros. Like some of them, I was surprised. Like I went into a few going, this guy's probably full of shit, but I had a producer friend that was like, oh, I'm going to get you this guest or that guest, and he helped me. And a few of them, I was like, this is not going to go well. These people are not, and a couple of them surprised me with having like good things to say, and we're not, you know, like negative or nasty that I asked him a really hard question that a lot of people wanted to ask him. I had Richard Doty, and I know a lot of people like, they don't know what to think about this Richard Doty guy, but I got to say that guy, at the very least, everything in his background can be verified. His family's been involved in the UFO file stuff for ages, his father, his uncle, and him. And that guy was great. Like he let me ask anything. He said, nothing's off limits. The only thing I ask is don't ask me anything like that is, like about my personal life. I think maybe he was going through some kind of marriage stuff. I don't know what's going on with that. I said, no, I don't know anything about your personal life. I'm going to ask you about your history with the UFO stuff. And that guy, that was great. That was one of the things that put me on the map. And that was another guest that people were like, he's not going to talk to you. Okay, we got him, you know?
Yep.
But that's the thing, UFOs and stuff, that's fine. UFOs exist. We know I've seen UFOs. He's seen UFOs.
Absolutely.
You've seen UFOs. But the whole tie-in to that makes it's aliens. Again, prove it.
Nowhere in the definition of UFO, unidentified flying object, does it fucking say it's aliens. But everybody sees a fucking UFO and they're like, aliens. No.
7 billion people on this planet plus whatever how many people on this planet now. All these, I don't even know how many cell phones exist, cameras, everything, right? There's people you don't even expect to have fucking cameras in places in the world.
Not even just cell phones, because cell phone cammers don't take the best fucking distant pictures. There's so many people out there with actual good cameras taking pictures of the sky all the time. I follow fucking tons of people that take pictures of the Milky Way and all the stars and everything like that.
You guys have an open invitation to come out to my cabin in the mountains in upstate PA, and boy, can I show you some stuff up there, because it's at a really high elevation, and you could see like the International Space Station with your naked eye. That's how high up in the mountains my cabin is. It's awesome.
We can see the dot when it goes by. Shit. We can't make out what it exactly is, but we can see it. But
you see it kind of a big blur, but you know it's something. It's moving too fast to be a plane, and you can see satellites. With
we can see that. I'm saying we can see like that. We can see some of that stuff here. We can't see the stars here really. We can see the big one, the brighter ones, but we don't get to see everything like you see up there. You could probably see the outer arm of the Milky Way and stuff, and all that and that stuff there. But yeah, that'd be awesome to go to PA. So,
absolutely. I got family in Delaware. I used to live in PA too. I've made my rounds. My father worked for Eastern Airlines.
We go to New Hampshire and Vermont and stuff, and some places we know people up there that are like kind of off grid and everything, where it's just like with you, probably higher elevations and there's no lights around, so you can see the night sky.
No, there's no lights anywhere. It's awesome. It's awesome to look up the sky and see what it's supposed to look like. I lived most of my life in this city, and I just now finally got out of that. But I've had that cabin since before I moved. But it's an awesome place to go and just look at the sky. And we're working on getting some telescopes going and some other stuff up there and make it even better.
Yep.
Okay. Hey,
good
sounds
stuff.
Like fun. Absolutely, brother. I look forward to definitely coming up there and do that with you. You have open invitation to come here too. Smoke in the studio with us.
Come
chill,
to the studio.
Have some fun.
That sounds like fun. I might be down there on business in, I think in September. I might be somewhere near Boston.
Okay.
There you go. Well,
sounds good. Well,
make it happen. Try and make it happen. You're always welcome in the Garden of Knowledge Studios.
In the words of Dougie Fresh, 6 minutes, well, 6 years. Steve.
6 years, guys. Congrats. That's an awesome accomplishment. I'm proud of you guys for doing that, for sticking through.
I can't take credit for all 6 years. I've only been here for 5, so.
Okay, well, you got to do an extra year after Jiggy croaks or something.
Hey, I'm gonna outlive all y'all. I'm booking Eli. That's gonna be me walking across the country and shit.
Yeah.
Except I'll have like a dog or something, or maybe I'll have because I have cats, so maybe one of my cats will survive, and it'll just be me and my cats or something. But you assume that I won't be the one doing. I might be fucking Woody Harrelson and shit doing a fucking little broadcast somewhere after y'all have croaked somewhere, or know that it's about to end, and I'll be up in Yellowstone somewhere in my little RV.
He was one of the first ones to go when Yellowstone blew, though.
That's all right. I'll voluntarily go. But I'm saying everybody pretty much went. Ain't none of you motherfuckers.
I'll be nowhere near Yellowstone or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And I'll carry on the show.
If you remember how that shit went out, the whole world ended anyways. But you never know. Jiggy will survive. I'll be the one to survive all y'all. Watch. The aliens are going to come. I talked to the Rasta-Arians. I'm a channeler. I channel the Rasta-Arians. And they just basically say, hey, smoke weed every day. And I got a Riley Martin symbol. I don't know if you ever listened to Howard Stern, but he used to have this guy named Riley Martin on there. He talked about the Biavians. I got a Biavian symbol. I'm covered. Y'all going to still do it. And I'll ascend. David Wilcox and those guys, they're going to need some entertainment. They'll probably take somebody like me with them because I'm not completely offensive. They'll be like, yeah, well, Jiggy can ascend with us. Take him with us. There'll be entertainment. I'll be security. They'll need real security since they clearly don't have clearly none of them have any real security from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing. Like, Wilcox got to travel around with security, and I've talked to 10 different people that told me that they got ejected from conferences. And he, like, basically he'll go to the conference organizers and say, like, I'm not going to speak if that person's in the audience, and he gets people booted. So how weak is your argument when you can't have any critics in the audience at all? They all have to be booted? Like, that's crazy to me.
Let me tell you something. All my years of doing security and stuff, I did security for this Prince stuff, and he was here in Boston, and they went to the Roxy, which is like, it was a big club at the time, blah, blah, blah. And they literally cleared the whole club out. It's the only time I've ever seen this in my whole career of somebody having that much power. They cleared everybody out because no one could hear what he was doing. No one could hear him warm up and stuff like that. That's the kind of the mentality of these dudes. That's why I'm saying they think they are celebrities. I'm good. They act, they walk, they talk, they think they are celebrities. That's how they conduct themselves. But it's part of the show. It's what they need
I'm sure we can get somebody in there.
No, I don't. Get somebody in there for what? Like you're on their ground.
He's going to send a ninja after David Wilcox. Could be bad.
Yeah.
No, because all you got to do just get somebody that's going to stand up when he's taking questions to be like, well, David, how? I have a question. Okay, and you start off and you just say your question, and then you just you'll see his reactions. You'll get his reactions and everything like that. Whatever he does, whether he says nothing, he's going to have a dumbfounded look on his face. He has a dumbfounded look on his fucking face all the time, too.
No, fuck that. You need to be like when
you post some stuff
out and
he's
talk
like,
to Stanton Freeman and people like that, they can be man and fucking balls up and talk to some people the same way. It shouldn't have to be some sneak fucking dun invested to sneak somebody in and confront these people on their terms, on their turfs. And most of the conferences, if you notice what they're doing now too, they're falling back to their own space. They're creating their own events,
own conferences,
their own space. They're going to places
Corey
like
was
Hawaii
all bragging
and all this type of shit.
Corey's like, my conference is going to have like 300 people this year. And I'm like,
wow, that's great.
That's a conference? It sounds like a business meeting.
And he's going to have a former FBI agent and a former NSA agent and a former, it's crazy.
I know.
One of the things, though, that's funny with Wilcox is like, I just don't understand, like, the thing with the GoFundMe money. Like, all these people are saying, like, that you basically stole all this money, or at the very least that you created this GoFundMe and you scammed people to give money on false pretenses. He has said nothing.
Again.
Crickets about it. And I don't know about you, but if somebody was accusing me of stealing a bunch of money or scamming
well, they're all in it. They're all part of the whole thing.
Wait a minute. Corey Good stood up for him and said that there was something about some silver. The dude invested in silver.
Yeah,
So
which is convenient because
you got your explanation.
There's no way that you could get your money back because there's just some old dude running around with a bag full of $60,000 worth of silver.
I've got my treasure, matey. Finally.
Yeah, exactly. And the government cannot confiscate that and give the people their money back. The bank,
but they can't
confiscate a bag full of silver.
Well, see, what would happen is because GoFundMe would give the people their money back. Even if they can't get the money back, they'll try and get their money back. But GoFundMe will give the people their money back because they got to be an honorable company, and that's part of their thing. And they will give the money back to the people, which they did before they got the money back from the other people. They refunded everybody already, the company themselves, and even if they didn't get all the money back because they bought cars and did all kinds of shit. But GoFundMe gave everybody their money.
They'd have to take old boy's teeth out of his face.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Exactly. So they won't GoFundMe won't get their money back even if he did get the silver or he spent it or whatever and stuff like that. But they will prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law, and he will go to jail for his crimes. The people will get their money back because GoFundMe will make it right per their company policies and everything, and the law will make it right for him pulling a scam like that. David Wilcox being involved. Other people who tweeted that out that were directly involved right away, like Jordan Sayers and Corey Good, and everybody else was like, yeah, hey, everybody help out our friend. And the people involved will be prosecuted in some way or another and stuff like that.
He has another insider friend who didn't he just get out of heart surgery or
Because
something?
GoFundMe don't fuck around with that. They're
gonna said that on Twitter, like, are you going to start a GoFundMe? Wilcox tweeted something about somebody,
some insider friend.
Montauk insider, yeah. And I almost said, like, you're going to start a GoFundMe for that guy too, but I just...
That's why I've been looking into it. Because GoFundMe, they will look into this. They will get the law involved and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much because it's like it's going to be a legal thing, but and I don't want to really be directly involved. I mean, I've already done my part, I suppose. But I don't want to say too much, but all I have to say is I think I'm not going to be David Wilcock and promise mass arrests or anything crazy. But I think there's going to be some consequences to that. And it's just going to take a little bit of time to work its way through the whole system. And then we'll see what happens. But it's going to be interesting to watch.
Well, you know what, too, though? But it's also up to these people who got their money they spent their money. Like, they need to do their due diligence.
Contribute. If I wish to God, I would have given $1 single to that.
But the people who did...
I'm sure there are people that...
they need to. They need to get up off their
They're just probably not saying anything because your information's out there. The stuff is out there. And I can't... Who else was... Somebody else was saying it, what you putting out, saying that GoFundMe thing. I saw it somewhere. I think I showed you the thing that looked like I read it somewhere that somebody put out there that the GoFundMe thing was a whole big. There's no truth to any of it and stuff, and it was a scam and stuff. So people are putting it out there, and people that find out and stuff, they're gonna be like, this motherfucker will scam me, and people will. That
This motherfucker.
Like, that was my last $20, and I gave it to this motherfucker.
Bitch.
I know that I have personally been messaged, and I shared all the information that I had, and I made a Word document of everything that I found and what I did to prove that everything in that GoFundMe was not factually correct. And I put it all in a Word document, and anybody that contacted me that contributed to it, I gave them the Word document so they can take it to GoFundMe, they can take it to law enforcement and do whatever they're going to do. But it's just frustrating because I didn't personally contribute, so I can't myself call law enforcement. I don't think I can contact GoFundMe. I haven't yet, but I may still do that.
Don't even listen. Because you don't want to involve. Let them handle that shit. That's up to the people. These people.
Yeah.
Again, I pay my money. I go to conferences. I go to whatever and stuff. I choose to do that. These folks got out their asses and did any kind of just did some little research, whatever the fuck word we're going to use now, to actually go and find out what they're giving money to. You know, that's on them. They need to do some research. They need to go out there and call someone. They need to be outraged and stuff. It's time for people, if they really feel that way, because then some people just want to be suckered. Some people don't care. Some people are still going to buy into the narrative, whatever. They need to figure out that there's other people like yourself putting information, but you can't.
Somebody always going to drink Jesus juice.
Whatever, let them drink the juice. Good luck.
Jesus juice, yeah.
Good luck with Hell Bop, whatever, all those different fucking cults, whatever. They want to be involved with the cult. They want to chicken dance. They want to ascend. Buy.
But yeah, exactly. But we got to keep putting the information out there and getting it out there and letting people know.
Oh.
Might not wake them all up.
Stop till you get enough.
Might not get them all, but we got to get some of them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But the last blunt has been smoked, and it is late here.
Stephen, hopefully we'll
Yeah,
get to continue
Stephen,
this
yes,
conversation
definitely.
with you next Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try to bring you some new, never before heard information that you're going to like, I think.
Oh, dude, I got some stuff for you guys too. I got a bunch of stuff I'm about to share too. Like,
Awesome.
It's hilarious. But yeah, there's a great little network out there. I ask that everybody who's listening to the show still and listens in the future and checks out the archives.
Make sure you subscribe.
Go support Stephen Cambion. Go support CW Chanter, Joe from the Carolinas, Kelly Farmer from Explaining Esoterica, Mysterious Forces Live, Tasha. Tasha, I hope you feel better too. She wasn't feeling good if she would have been with us, because without her, she kind of plugged a lot of you guys too and stuff, and that's just how it ends. Not ends, but begins, and we just want to keep working and just keep getting.
Yeah, and shout out to Willie Myko and Supremes of the Ohio Valley. You can follow all those guys. Download SOTOV's music.
Follow. Now I know you're on Twitter. You don't do Instagram.
Yeah, most people ask how to contact me, and I tell most people just look for Stephen Cambion on Twitter or on Facebook. We have a website. It's like themidnighthour.home.blog for my show. My show's called The Midnight Hour. You can just search Stephen Cambion on YouTube, and you'll find my channel. It's got a shit ton of music that I've put out, and also The Midnight Hour show.
Absolutely. So go subscribe, folks. I know CW Chanter is only pretty much on Twitter. Explain on Esoterica. Kelly Fama, she's on Twitter, but she's also on Instagram. Joe from the Carolinas.
You can find all these people. You can find everybody on YouTube. You can find them on some form of social media and stuff.
Just fucking Google them, kids.
Just find them.
Hashtag, just support each other. Hashtag.
If you're not already subscribed to us, subscribe to us and hit the notification bell, because we will go live just besides the Thursday night. We're here every Thursday night, 8 o'clock to 11. And then, like I said, we do live shows randomly, so you want to have that bell on, and so you can know that we're going live at a random time.
Please, if you're into the paranormal side, all this stuff we talk about, we do have a show. Episode 1, Season 1 is available on Amazon Prime. If you got Prime, you can go check it out. Episode 2 will be up soon. As you heard earlier, we have some cool stuff which kind of got leaked tonight. New Orleans going on, a project in New Orleans, in different places and stuff. And I may be a contact in the desert. It should be a go, so just follow.
I may be a contact.
And congrats, guys, on 6 years.
Yes,
man. Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and being here.
Congratulations.
Thank you for everybody who's in the. I don't want to call it a fight, because it's not a fight, but thank you for everybody who's spreading knowledge. Thank you for everybody who's truly into
doing real investigating.
But not even just investigating, who's into the realness. You know, in all this, the one thing that I want to point out: meditation, love, peace, all this stuff that these people use, kind of a 10% ratio to kind of bait you in, is still very important. So don't forget that aspect of it. Remove all
taking
the bullshit.
care of each other.
Exactly.
Taking care of the planet. That's all good stuff. Let's use all this technology that we call alien technology. Let's use the good stuff, and we can fix this planet instead of looking for fucking life and doing all that stuff's cool too. But let's fix it.
Human beings are great.
Let's make human beings great again, everybody.
We built the pyramids. We did a whole lot more. That's why we're here to explore. So
that wasn't aliens?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, we're the aliens. We're everything that they tell us. We're superheroes. We're so much more. And it can all be proven. But anyways, folks, that's it. The night is over. Thank you for 6 years. We'll see you on the other side. Next week, Steve will be with us live. We'll get deeper down the rabbit hole and then beyond. More guests, more shows, more real Paranormal Hood talk. Thank you again for everybody who joined us tonight. Anybody who's new, please hit the subscribe button. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, and we may pop in. You never know when we'll go live. Check out Steven, CW Chanta, Kelly Fama, Joe from the Carolinas, Uni Rock, who am I forgetting? Dark Journalist. There's just so many more people. Mysterious Forces, Tasha, SOTOV. And George R. Lopez, because he's the person that even was the first person to interview Paranormal Hood in a way that kind of put us out there, and then asked me to start Paranormal Hood. So without him, Paranormal Hood probably wouldn't even be here. And still coast to coast, because even though I still use my CC Crane radio, sometimes turn on at 1 o'clock to listen to what they're saying, I just don't buy their bread anymore. So hopefully maybe they'll even get with the fucking new wave and bring some new talent on that's speaking a little bit of truth and can be part of the resistance. Resist, folks, because guess what? The revolution will be televised. We're out. Peace and love. We'll see you on the other side.
Awesome. Good night, folks.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who's joined us for the first time and who's just been with us in the beginning. Cool K, everybody. I just can't name everybody in the chat and everything. But if